Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. For today's preview, as the All Blacks look to try and get themselves into pole position to win the Rugby Championship against the Wallabies this weekend at their favourite hunting ground, Eden Park. A very, very important game, and from a Springbok point of view, very important to see an Australian victory. And there's quite a few injuries to the New Zealand side, which does make things quite complicated. However, it is still a very strong All Black side, and I think that the changes that happen made to the All Black side, I don't think weaken them very much. And in fact, I think that a couple of them could actually really favour New Zealand. So it should be quite an interesting clash to see exactly how things go. For Australia, to that point, we need Australia to do one of two things: either prevent New Zealand from getting a bonus point, or ideally actually win the game. But playing at Eden Park is very difficult to get a win there. That it is where the Rugby where the All Blacks bring teams when they need a victory. They just don't lose Eden Park. It's just not something that really happens very often. But hopefully this weekend we can see something a little bit different. But before we look at some of the changes made in the teams that line up, please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. And we'll start with the All Blacks, who have had to take a couple of injury-enforced changes. So this is how they will line up this weekend. Now, in front row, Samasori Takao gets a break and is on the bench. And as a result, Cody Taylor will start in the starting lineup, because that's something we've seen too much of. I don't think we've seen it at all, actually, in the Rugby Championship. He'll be next to Ethan de Groot and Turo Lomax. Then in the middle, in the second row, Brady Talek will partner Sam Whitelock, who will actually captain the side with the injury to Sam Cane, forcing him out for this weekend. We've then got Akira Awani into the loose trio, Dalton Papali'i, who replaces Sam Cane. However, the big boost for the All Blacks is the fact that Artis Sabir is back in that number 8 jersey. In the back line, Aaron Smith partners Richie Mwanga, Caleb Clark, Will Jordan remain. However, there is a change in the centre combination. Jordan Barrett will start at inside centre, where he finished last weekend because of the injury to David Habili, whilst Bowden Barrett will slot in at 15. Off the bench, we're going to see Samasoni Takawao, Opatunga Farsi, Nepulo Lala as the reserve front row. You've then got Tupou Vide, Hoskins Satutu, Finley Christie, but Roger Tuivasa Sheikh comes into the side, or 23 rather, as does Sevu Reece. So, as I said, still a very strong All Black side, and still very much a side that can cause a lot of issues. However, I do think that, on paper, it is not the strongest side I can put out. If you look at the Australian side, a couple of nice players returning for them, but no Darcy Swain, who has received a 6-match ban, which is effectively a 3-match ban by virtue of them naming him in the end of year tour, which means that he will only actually play still out of three Australian matches, which is a bit of a farce, considering the fact that he shouldn't have ever been named in an Australia A tour. If we look at the lineup, though, James Slipper, Dave Brecky, Alan Alatoa, you've then got Jed Holloway, Cameron Neville coming into the side in the second row, adding quite a lot of bulk, very big physical player. You then got Rob Ballantini, Pete Samu, and Harry Wilson as your loose trio. So Rob Ballantini shifting to number 6, and Harry Wilson, a very aggressive ball carrier, lots of physicality from him side, comes back into the side after overcoming an injury. And I'm hoping that he'll be a big boost to the side and very much add a different aspect of physicality to the Australians. Jake Gordon, Bernard Foley, Marikai Korobetti, Neleka Paketi, Nene Kitab, Tom Wright, Andrew Kellaway. It's an unchanged backline from the one that looked pretty decent last weekend. And Bernard Foley on the back foot was very big sort of controversy. I think Marshall was a very good return from the fly half at 10. And I think that if he plays well this weekend, it'll go a long way towards Australia being very competitive. We then had Falapa Inga, Angus Ball, back in the side, and Pona Fama Sili, who are the reserve front row. Nick Frost comes into the side. Fraser McWright, Nick White, Reece Hodge, and Jordan Petia will round up 23. It's a good Australian side. It's definitely an Australian side that can try and go toe-to-toe against a very strong All Black side, who I think will be playing with confidence, given the fact that they have won the last few in a row, but will know that they will have to be at their best to be competitive. Let me know what you think should happen down the game, down in the comments below. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Stephen. I'll chat to you soon.
Dave, you've backed Bernard in for another start at 10. What's the thinking there? And Noah was available for selection, I understand.
Yep. Yeah, no, Noah passed concussion protocols, early in the week. Look, we're very happy with Bernard, the experience, and I thought it was a hell of a performance for a guy who hadn't played international for 3 years and hadn't had a game of footy. for about 3 months. So, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, he gives the team a lot of confidence. Very good communicator, and yeah, so I thought a lot of his pass selection was outstanding.
All the trickiest selections you had to make, a few guys coming back as well, which helps.
Yeah, we got a few injuries out of the game. Matt Phillip has done a sternum injury that saw him come off reasonably early in the game. Rob Leota has done an Achilles. He'll be out for a long period. Obviously, he left the field in the second half, I think it was. Oh, actually, in the first half, wasn't it? Yeah, Scott Seo did a hamstring injury, being cleaned out late in the game, and yeah, so we've got a few bumps and bruises, and made a couple of changes based on that.
And one forced change, obviously Darcy Swain not playing. You thought he was unlucky to get a yellow. He's been given 6 weeks. What did you make of that ruling?
Yeah, look, it was clumsy and reckless. There's no malice in that. Obviously, I was part of the judicial process last night. So yeah, look, it certainly it met the red card threshold, and he got punished accordingly.
The Oz A tour means he can probably come back for you guys later in the year. He was always going to go on that tour, was he?
Yeah, we have about 9 in this group going. Guys like Ben Donaldson, who's been on the edge of it as well. But yeah, we're keen for a number of those guys to get as much footy as possible leading into a World Cup next year. So you look at Darcy's still a young lock, second year of international footy. We're keen for him and Caden Neville, Nick Frost to go away and get a bit more footy prior to a end of year tour and maximise that. So yeah, unfortunately he's going to miss a fair bit of footy over the next month or so.
Just on that back row, I was just going to say that back row, Harry at 8 pushing Bobby to 6, and kind of just talk through the sort of decision-making process there and what you like about what Harry can bring to this side.
Yeah, well, obviously Rob Leota out. One option was to move Jed Holloway back to 6, but you know we like him at lock. Puts him in the middle of the park a lot more. He's a good carrier, good defender, and he's got a great skill set. And so he's been working really hard. He's leaned down a bit, and he's been desperate for an opportunity, and he gets it. So we're looking forward to seeing him go. We played him at 6 last time we played him. This time we're giving him the 8 jersey, and they should get more opportunities to carry, which would be great. They'll be a good tag team, him and Bobby.
Sorry, just on Phillip, is that long term, or do you expect him back to the spring tour? Should be fit for that first game?
Nah, he should be fit for the spring tour.
Hey Dave, can I ask about the Darcy Swain stuff? Because the Kiwis, are fair to say, are fuming over it. Did he or did anyone reach out to New Zealand Rugby over the action?
Well, he spoke to Quinn after the game, and then made contact with him through. I think it was Tyrell Lomax who gave him the number to try and contact him. So, I hear they're fuming. I mean, we're not that excited about Fletcher Neal's clean out on Scott Seo, which sees him out for 3 weeks, and he didn't even get cited or carded during the game. As part of our defence, we use that. They mentioned that he should have been cited as well. So, look, we're not happy. Neither's Darcy. He's not happy with the action. He's not happy with the result. But it's not malicious. He's been punished, and 6 weeks is a hefty punishment, I reckon, and obviously fitting. But like I say, Fletcher Neal, he gets to live another day.
Given that this rivalry doesn't need any more, extra juice in it, are you concerned it might have created a bit of bad blood that's unnecessary?
No. I mean, it's test footy. So look, it's a competitive environment. They're desperate to win, so are we. And I thought it was just a great game of footy. I think the injuries that we just talked about Quinn Tupaia and Scott Seo are disappointing. But it's part of the game, and like I say, Darcy's he's been punished accordingly.
That's why I've got the floor. It was reported earlier this week that Rugby Australia sent a please explain letter or just a complaint letter over officiating to World Rugby. Does that go beyond the Foley question, or are there other things in that?
Well, I mean, I didn't write that letter. I've done what I normally do, and done a telestration where I talk over a number of clips and share my views with the ref. So we've obviously been in contact with World Rugby around it, and they agreed with our concerns. So we've decided just to take it on the chin, and we're going to move on. We've 7 days since we played that game. We're a couple of days away from a big game in Auckland, and that's our focus now.
Okay, and just lastly, Vunivalu, did he come into your thoughts for the squad at all? Is he far away?
Well, he's not far away. It's a very competitive spot. He needs to convince us at training around high speed and repeat speed. He's certainly got some attributes that we know he'd excel at this level, but it's the whole package. And when you look at people like in the backfield, Callaway and Tom Wright, Marika, who got a massive work ethic, I'm not sure if everyone appreciates the work those guys do off the ball. The decision making around starting those three is pretty straightforward.
Thank you.
Dave, can you just confirm, was the Fletcher Newell incident, did that directly lead to the CEO injury?
Yeah.
Okay. Secondly, Tom Banks is in that Aussies squad. Is it clearly, like, you've never shut the book on him, but is there a thought that he might play in the spring tour, or is his selection viewed as a long-term play with the World Cup next year?
No, here's a chance to tour. Obviously, we want to get some footy into him. We sort of hoped he'd be back a bit earlier. So, going to Japan will get some footy into him, and then give us an understanding of where he's at and whether we include him for the European tour.
Sure. And just, it's been a week now. Has the blood kind of simmered, or have you, like the team, never been more fired up for a match?
Oh, look, there's a lot of motivating points in there. I know Rieko Awani had a lot to say to our boys after the final try, mouthing off at Falau Fainga around disrespecting the haka, and, which is a bit odd, because, as New Zealanders would know, when a team does a haka, you respond with a haka. We don't have the luxury of having a haka, so our response is in the boomerang shape and to move forward, and they're throwing down a challenge, we're accepting it. There's a fair bit of banter goes on in the field, and just adds to the theatre, I think.
Is that banter, or is that disrespect there from Rieko, the mouthing off?
Oh, it's standard.
Dave, can I ask about Bernard Foley and the spring tour? Do you have any kind of idea if he's definitely available for that, or if it's a wait and see, or how that's shaping up?
Yeah, I mean, we're working through things at the moment. He's very interested. He's very interested in touring. We're keen for him to go. We're just making sure that from a Kubota perspective, that they're happy. But initial talks have been supportive. But we'll get clarity over the next couple of weeks.
Thank you. And just going back on something earlier, when you mentioned that at the judiciary, I think you said they mentioned that he should have been cited as well. Can you explain, who mentioned that? Was that the judiciary panel brought that up, or was that your representatives, or where did that kind of come from?
No, that came as part of our defence. We just cited that, when Darcy did that, he's technically got it wrong. He's the intent to clean out. He's misfired a little bit. Instead of clawing a leg and clawing under what we call breaking the window, he couldn't quite get in there because someone had blocked his path, and so he ends up twisting and then clumsily landing on a leg. So, he's been punished for that. But we highlighted what he was trying to do and used a couple of examples from the game, and one was a good one where Sam Whitelock, he cleaned out in a similar fashion to Darcy, but did it accurately and effectively, and the other one we used was Fletcher Newell's, where very similar to Darcy, and he's landed on Scott Seo's leg, and he's done a hammy based on that. So in the end, you can't use it as a defence, but we're just highlighting the fact that we've got one incident that's been picked up, punished on field and off field, and another example that's been glossed over.
Thank you. Just finally from me, on the All Blacks squad name today, kind of your thoughts on, obviously a couple of big names are out, but a couple of big names are back as well. What do you make of that?
Oh, look, as All Black sides are, they are incredibly strong. You lose someone like Sam Cane out of that loose trio, but you bring in Artie Savia, so, and obviously Bodie Barrett gets to start at 15, probably one of the best 15s in the world, so it's a hell of a replacement in it. So, look, we've got a huge amount of respect for them. We're well aware that, we need to be at our best to be in with the show at Eden Park, but we're excited, we're prepared really well, and we're keen to rip in.
When you mentioned the World Rugby agreed with some of your points that you came across, are you speaking specifically to an incident or the end with Bernard with the time wasting? Is like that conceding that might not have been the right call at the right time, or are you talking about other points?
No, I'm talking about the end of the game.
Does that make it better or worse that they concede that now?
Yeah, like as I said before, we're just at a stage where we're going to move on. We seeked a bit of clarity. We've got that. It's not going to help us win on the weekend. So, our focus has been on our preparation and making sure we can throw everything at it on Saturday.
Just lastly, does Rico Ioane firing up, let's stop the group doing the boomerang formation again if required this week?
No, I mean that's our reply. It's how we respond, and I was just a bit surprised that he thinks it's disrespectful. Is the expectation that we just stand there and they throw a challenge at us and we do nothing, just take it. So we think it's a very respectful way of responding, and it's unique to us because of the boomerang shape, and we won't be stopping that.
Dave, can I just ask as well, we know the records, the history of Australian matches against the All Blacks in New Zealand, but the idea of responding, last week was a good performance, but can you do it again in a second match? So is this match just as significant? World Cup, obviously a year away, and how important is that for your ambitions going forward with the Wallabies?
Yeah, look, it's massive because playing New Zealand in New Zealand, as we know, is a difficult task. But look, as I've mentioned before, it's the same size pitch as last week. We've got to ensure that we can bring the same sort of intensity. I thought the mindset and the attitude was excellent. We got behind early and managed to claw our way back into it. We lacked discipline, got punished, and the All Blacks punished us on the scoreboard while we were down in numbers. But we showed a huge amount of character to come back into the game. So, you can't give the All Blacks time and space, and you certainly can't try and play them with 13 players. So there's a number of areas that we need to be better, but if we can replicate the same mindset and physicality, then we're in with the show.
Do you feel like the Wallabies need to fire a shot to get some credibility on the world stage? And is that important, or is that just a media kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, the only credibility we're trying to get is the people who support us, and you only do that by performing week in, week out. So, look, last week there was a lot of positives, but we lost. So we need to go one better this week.
Last couple, please, guys, if anything else.
Dave, with the number of injuries you've had, how significant is it to you that someone like Andrew Kellaway's gone from wing to fullback and played well, and Lalakai Faketti's come in as the third inside centre and played very, very well last week in a big theatre, and I guess relevant Pete Samu as well. What relevant to that? What do you want to see from Harry Wilson in this sort of big forum where he's in another restructured back row?
Yeah, no, you're right. That's been the great thing. We've had a lot of injuries, but it's given opportunity for others to play. And we've had a number of guys who've really fronted, so it's given us confidence that we've got a lot of depth within the squad. And we really rate Wilso. There's massive competition in that spot, and based on us playing Pete at 7 with Rob Leota out, with us moving Jed Holloway to lock, there's a genuine opportunity for Harry, not only in this test but in the European tour. So he's well aware of the importance of that, and he's pretty keen to have a big performance in the weekend.
Dave, did you particularly request Max Jorgensen go on the Australia A tour because you've seen things about him that you really are excited about?
Obviously we talked about taking Max away from a development perspective, and so it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity for our A coaches to spend a bit of time with him and get to know him a bit better and give him an understanding of professional footy. So exciting that he's committed to rugby, and he'll enjoy the first couple of weeks of that Japanese tour.
Thanks.
Anything else for Dave?
Sorry. Just with the Caden Neville's selection, I mean, what does he kind of bring to the locks for you?
Yeah, he's a big man, uncomplicated Caden. So he's a very good scrummaging, tight head lock, very good maul and defensive maul. Big target at line out time, and he'll tackle and he'll hit rucks and he'll carry, and probably won't worry too much about all the flash stuff. So he won't play 80 minutes. Based on the fact that he's his first game back from a reasonably lengthy injury post England. So we just want a lot of energy and a lot of physicality out of him, and that's what he normally delivers.
I guess you kind of touched on it there. Obviously, he's had a lengthy injury. How is he feeling, and what type of minutes do you expect him to kind of give before we kind of turn to his fellow Brumbies teammate Nick Frost? Yeah,
I mean we'll judge that based on what we see, but whether that's 50 or 55, somewhere around that length of time, and but you never know with footy, do you? If someone else gets injured and all of a sudden the big rig's got to go 80. He's a tough bugger. He's just excited to be back in the mix.
Anything else, guys? Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, hi Dave.
Sorry, no.
Sorry.
We just got to wrap it up soon. Sorry, guys.
Fire away.
Oh, thanks. Just with the feeling there is between the teams at the moment, is there a danger that it could be a boiling or things get out of control? And have you got to your guys got to rise above anything like that in Saturday?
I mean, we're not talking about any of that. As you know, I don't read a lot of media anyway. But if there's things being said, it's typical ramble heading into a big Test match, and while we're disappointed we're not going to Eden Park with a chance of winning, Bledisloe Cup. It's a fairly big game for the All Blacks still, with a rugby championship crown up for grabs. So. We're taking the game very seriously. It's a big match for us. It's a big match for them, and so there'll be a bit of hype around it, and the fact that there was a bit of controversy at the end of the game. But it was still an unbelievable game of footy, and you speak to anyone who was there. The great thing about Melbourne indoor stadium with dry ball and no wind. Meant for a positive game from two positive teams. So, I think you'll still have two teams that want to play a bit of footy at Eden Park, and as we know, it's all those games are very physical.
Thanks.
Anything else, guys? Abby?
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate your time. I'll be on the.
Ian, could you talk us through the decision to go Geordie at 12 over Roger? Yeah, combinations from last week. They played 2/3 of the 3/4 of the game in that space with Bodie at fullback, Geordie there. Just felt that, I guess, the learnings and experience they had there just flow through to this game and maybe make some changes later on.
So it's more a reflection of the way Geordie went at 12 as opposed to the progress you're seeing from Roger?
Yeah, probably the same answer, to be fair. So it's based on the experience they had last week, and just felt they can start at a higher level because they've just had best part of 60 minutes of a test match, so that combination's a bit stronger.
What do you like about Geordie at 12?
Well, first and foremost, it was a pretty unique situation because we lost 2 players within about 5 minutes of each other, so it was a late change clearly, but it's a what if that we have to deal with, and it's a what if that we've been dealing with, I guess, at trainings, and so it went pretty good. He was a bit rusty on a few calls and showed probably too eager in many ways, but again, there's some nice lessons there, and you know, Roger's had a couple of NPC games again, so he's come back in and training well, and a chance for him just to watch the game unfold and then see what happens.
What skills does Geordie have that you think work at 12?
He's a strong carrier, aggressive defender, can kick, and a good communicator.
Had you envisaged starting Geordie at 12, or is it a case of need to must with the injuries you've got there?
Injuries, yep.
In Samasoni was named player of the match, scored 2 tries last game. This game he's on the bench. Can you just talk through that decision?
Yeah, look, last test of a pretty big block. Sonny's had an outstanding series, and so it's a chance where, you know, Cody's been working hard behind the scenes, you know, and we really believe he's in a good space now, and it's a chance to inject Sonny in the second part of a game, you know, and to have a sort of a slightly different impact role than what he's had as a starting role. But you know, we're pretty excited about that 1-2 punch for this particular game, particularly at the end of a championship when, you know, maybe energy levels are down a little bit. So just to change the picture a little bit.
Does Cody need this start to kind of leave that Argentina test behind him?
Oh, he's been preparing well. He'd be the first to admit that wasn't his finest hour, but you know, he's a quality person, quality player, and I know he's really keen to play well for us.
Ian, Darcy Swain's been given 6 weeks. Do you think that's the right punishment?
Oh, it is what it is. You know, we spoke after the game and basically said there's a process that people go through. We're fully aware of that. We go through that ourselves. So he's got what he's got.
Did you see it as an intentional act?
Like I just said, I'm not sure what I haven't read the judiciary thing, but clearly he's gone through a process, and that's what they've come up with.
Can I ask, did he or the team reach out after that incident?
Not aware of that, to be fair. Either way, yes or no, I don't know.
If he'll miss 6 weeks rather than games, should a ban like that come down to matches rather than weeks?
Oh, look, I've been through a lot of judiciary processes. There's a lot happens in there that I don't know what they've actually come up with, but I'm sure they've been consistent with what they've done in the past. Either way.
Do you have a view on him being named in the Australian A team?
Yeah, I think I've answered enough questions. Like I don't know all that, so the judiciary would have taken all that into account and come up with what they guess is a fair. I mean, we'll go back and, you know, our people will always review decisions to make sure we learn from the processes, but it seems to me that they've come up with a pretty satisfactory answer.
Does this game have a sort of a knockout feel to it, given what's on the line, Ian?
It's got a final type feel rather than a knockout. I think it's, you know, if you look at the state of the Rugby Championship, there's a few unknowns, isn't there? And so we probably can't, you know, there's some parts we can't control because there's a game after us, but there's a massive part that we can control. And, you know, we can control the quality of our performance. And we know last week we're playing against a team that we've got massive respect for and pushed us to the wire. And when we've taken a whole lot of lessons from that, we've got to make sure we've learnt from them. So for us, it's just it's a big occasion. We want to make sure we just go out there and put our best foot forward. And from our thing, we just got to do what we've got to control what we can control, which is our performance. And then what happens after that, we'll wait and see.
How good is it to be back on Eden Park, where you've had quite a lot of success, obviously?
Yeah, it's great to be here. You know, it's a ground we love, and you know, to play your last test of the year at home here feels good.
Do you afford yourself 5 minutes during this week to look back over the past 3 months and think, gee whiz, we've been through quite a lot, and I've been through quite a lot, as in you?
I've got plenty of time after this game to do that, and probably going to, you know, we'll reflect on the campaign after this game. Like right now, all our energy's on Saturday, and you know, we'll do what we always do, reflect on it. You know, I guess reflect on the journey of the championship, and it's you know, it's been a very different one for all 4 teams in many ways, but it's also pretty exciting from a rugby championship side that we've come to the last game and no one really knows. And so from that, I guess from that perspective, it's exciting. In terms of personal journey, it's just the life of a rugby coach, Steve.
Ian, what's wrong with Scott Barrett, and how close was Shannon Frizzell to being considered?
Shannon, not really. We had to wait and see when he came in, but you know, I think at a pinch he may have been able to play, but with a decent break after this, it just seemed the wrong decision, and so we've got a chance to get him 100% right. Scott Barrett is, you know, we've been managing his Achilles for a month, and he's been doing really good, but there was a little bit of I think you may have seen him getting treated in the last 15 minutes of that test, and he had a little bit of a calf tear tightness that's really just put that a little bit in doubt, so made that decision early.
Ian, with Geordie's move into the midfield, did you consider Will Jordan at fullback, and what made you go with Bowden?
Well, Bodie played 3/4 of the game there last week, so again we felt like those combinations we'd already been using. Did we consider Will? Yep. And you know, you might see him slip back there at some point.
Artie's taken over the captaincy when Sam's come off in games this year. How come Sam Whitelock is captain this week over Artie? Yeah,
well, a little bit of a copy and paste answer, but it's actually a very similar thing. Is that he's, you know, he led the team for a large part of last week. Artie wasn't there on parental leave, and then we had a bye before that. So Artie's last contact with the team was actually the Hamilton test. So really felt it was better for Artie just to come back and get back into it, get his mind on his role. You know, he's you know, a key part of our game plan, and so we really just wanted to give him the week to get back in and get refreshed. It takes a bit of adjustment when you miss a week, and just feeling like coming back in and catching up with where the team's at. So that was the reason.
If we think long term, how important is Saturday for Akira, especially on home turf?
It's important for everyone. And if you look at Akira, he's, you know, there's plenty of competition. If you look at it from a personal side, there's plenty of competition in the loose forwards. That's the way we want it. We believe in the skill set that he's got, that he can really contribute, you know, with the ball, without the ball. He's a different type of defender, and a different type of carrier to the likes of Scott Barrett and Shannon. So it's important that he finds his way into the game and is able to utilise his strengths in that skill set. And so, you know, it's a big challenge because the Wallabies loose forwards, you know, they played a very physical, combative game last week, and that's what we're expecting out of Kira.
Dalton?
Pardon?
Dalton? What do you want from him? Because you know,
same thing, really. Yeah. Same thing. There's a nice little challenge in that part of the game, and you know, the Wallabies played a very sort of a confrontational, close quarter. Tried to do a lot of grouping of our forwards through their carry clean type stuff, and it's an area that you've got to be strong defensively.
After last Thursday's test, both you and Dave Reddy had different complaints of the referee. Australia took them a step writing to World Rugby about it. Would you take that a similar move, or did you think the officiating concerns have got to a certain level that you've got to intervene like
without being smart, but can you remind me what my complaints to the referee were?
I think you had a problem with Kellaway try. Were you talking about?
Yeah, well, that was in response to questions on time wasting in an isolated incident, and so my response after the game was more related to we've got to players have to learn to listen to referees. So that was mine. So what was the next question? Sorry.
So I mean, you obviously, I think you've answered it. You obviously don't share the overall problems with officiating at the moment.
Well, I think it's easy to say, it's a cliche to say there's overall problems with officiating. I think that you've got to be really specific. I think it's tough on refs now. They're under a lot of scrutiny, and when decisions, when people perceive that decisions have cost games, then they get put under the microscope, don't they? And you know, last week's has created an issue that's pretty well talked about, but it's you know, it's from our perspective, we've gone through a normal process. There's always things that we would like to see different, you know, in a test match, and we've presented our case in that space too, as we normally would. But overall, what I liked about Matthew last week is he backs himself. He's strong, and if he sees a decision, he makes a decision. So does it mean everything's right? Not really, but that goes the same with all of us, I guess. But you know, they're working hard behind the scenes to get things right, to grow experience, I guess, before a World Cup. So it's a tough process for the refs.
Because of all the talk and the debate over the end of the game from last week, do you expect this weekend's referee to clamp down on perceived time wasting as well, or is that a one-off?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to meet him at 1 o'clock.
Can I come?
No.
Is there a precedent with that now, though, Ian? Like, we've seen it called before, so do you think that sets a little bit of a precedent going forward around that time wasted?
Well, I just think, look, I'm not frustrated by the language, but there was, and I said it at the time, and I think I've been very consistent. If you look at the last decision, it's the biggest issue out of it wasn't time wasting for me. The biggest issue is that when a ref gives you clear instructions, that at some point you've got to listen to it. Otherwise, what's the point of having a referee out there? And so that was my main point. And so time wasting, I guess every team will find ways to slow momentum down at certain times, and so, but if there's a move by World Rugby to speed up the game and have less time wasting, well, we're 100% in, because that's what we want.
It's been a few weeks. 6 championship games this year, you've had 5 northern refs. Is that odd for a rugby championship campaign?
Look, I don't think it's odd. I think this is a campaign that World Rugby's made a move to try to grow some experience with a group of referees to look at options for next year with a wider tournament coming up. So I think that's probably pretty standard. I think what's been intriguing is some of the more experienced, there's 2 or 3 more experienced referees that have sort of been rested during the Rugby Championship, which is a kind of another issue.
And do you find that intriguing, or you found that an issue in a crucial competition?
Well, I'm sure those experienced refs might have, but no, from our perspective, it's fine.
We'll take one more, please. So we're going to get the next line.
What is the fallout? You know, it's been incredible. You know, the talking points from last test. What does that say about the state of the Trans-Tasman rivalry at the moment?
I'd say it's alive and well and kicking. Really, it's shows a lot of passion, and shows that you lot are all very interested.
Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. Today's guide on how to watch South Africa take on Argentina in what will be the final match of the 2022 Rugby Championship, and very much supposedly going to be the decider, because no team can win the match, or can win the tournament rather, before the closest match. It will go down to the final match. It will go down to the final minute. The 2022 Rugby Championship has probably been one of the best rugby championships, if not the best rugby championships we've ever had. in terms of the competitiveness point of view, in terms of how close it is, in terms of every team being able to compete. And it's been really enjoyable, and it's really cool that we're going into the final weekend and there are so many different things with every single team still actually able to win the tournament, which is not something that has happened in recent times. Before we tell you exactly how to watch the game, please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Now, unfortunately, the game is not being shown on any free-to-air broadcasters this weekend. However, there is a workaround, and that is using a free trial on Stan Sport, which lasts 7 days. Now, unfortunately, Stan Sport is only available in Australia. However, there is also, once again, a workaround. So if you look at trying to watch the game this weekend, the various broadcasters you like, Supersport in South Africa, it's ESPN in Argentina, Stan Sport over in Australia, Sky New Zealand, New Zealand, Sky Sports in the UK and stuff like that. So there's quite a few different broadcasts, paid broadcasts in and around the world. Now, Stan Sport offers you a 7-day free trial, and that will allow you to stream both games this weekend, although New Zealand versus Australia is actually being shown on Channel 9, which is a free-to-air broadcaster. So if you're looking to watch Australia versus New Zealand, then go and use a VPN. We recommend ExpressVPN, link down in the description below. Go and download ExpressVPN. I recommend signing up for a full year, to be honest, because there's so many different ways to watch rugby. We're going to be doing videos every week on how to watch UFC, how to watch the end of year tour. We're going to do videos on how to watch the FIFA World Cup, how to watch various cricket leagues, stuff like that, how to watch Top 14, Premiership. There's so many different ways you can watch rugby on free broadcasts and stuff like that. But in order to be able to access them, because they're all free broadcasters in various different countries around the world, you need a VPN. So get yourself ExpressVPN, download it and install it. And then for this weekend, you're going to set your server to Australia. You're going to connect to Australian server. So connect to Australian server, refresh your browser and stuff like that, so it registers your device is in Australia. Basically what it means is that it makes it look as if you're connecting from Australia itself. So anything that is geolocated and geo-restricted to Australia, you'll be able to access. You then go to Stan Sport, also link down in the description, and you sign up for a 1-week free trial. It's actually a 30-day free trial for Stan. Stan Sport itself is only 1 week. So you go and you sign up for that free trial, and then you'll be able to watch. You'll be able to stream both the New Zealand versus Argentina game, and this is Australia game rather, and as well as the Springboks versus Argentina. So don't sit there and wait until 5 o'clock on Saturday evening to suddenly go, how am I watching the game? Get yourself sorted now. Get ExpressVPN, sign up for that Stan Sport free trial, and then you're sorted. And if you've already signed up before, you can use a different email address, for example. You can use somebody else's details, somebody else in your family, stuff like that. So you can get yourself your free trial and make sure you get to watch the action this weekend. All the links that you need are in the description, as well as a step-by-step guide. We will obviously be live for both games this weekend, so come and join us on the watch-along. But get yourself 2 screens, get the rugby on one, get the watch-along on the other. Come and join the chat. Let's have a beer this weekend, and let's see if the Springboks can go all the way and lift the Rugby Championship trophy this weekend. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments down below. Please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Stephen, and I'll chat to you soon.
James, why is it so hard to win here as a Wallaby?
I think it's pretty hard to win here as any country. Historically, the All Blacks have done really well here, and they've turned it into a pretty strong fortress for themselves. So, history's against us, but we're coming here confident that we can perform. So we know it's going to take a big effort, but it's in my career, it's always been a tough outing.
Do you talk about it much when you've got guys in the team who've won Super Rugby games here?
Yeah, well, I think most of us have won Super games here, but it's Test match rugby. There's a lot on the lines. We're playing against some of the best teams in the world at the Test level. So anywhere you play is pretty tough, and Eden Park's no different, if not probably the hardest. So I think just historically it's been tough for us, but we haven't touched on it too much. At some point, one team will win here, and we want to be that team.
Your coach yesterday made some interesting comments. Did the Wallabies disrespect the haka last week?
No, we respect the haka. We respect the All Black team. Every game we come up against New Zealand, we know it's going to be a tough outing, and you got to pay your respects to that. Historically they're a successful team and nation in rugby, and they've won the Bledisloe for the last 20 years. So we do respect them. We're just accepting the challenge, and we feel like
you'll do that again tomorrow night.
we don't know yet, but we haven't actually discussed it. But for us, that's our way of respecting it by taking up the challenge.
Can I ask how you came up with the boomerang response?
We've been doing the boomerang for about 3 years, ever since Rens came in. But it was just our unique way to accept the challenges. Nothing too much from what it is, really.
So I'm not Maori, and I don't know your background, but I guess you're not as well. Are you led by Rennie in that sort of cultural understanding sort of framework and what's appropriate and what's not?
No, we definitely talk all together as a team. But Ren's really, he initiated the boomerang, and there's plenty of boys. All of us boys really want to involve the Indigenous culture within our nation. We find that's really important. We played in the Indigenous jersey a few times now each year, and that's something we're really proud of. So it's just a little bit of a taste of our nation and our way of accepting the challenge, mate.
Did you hear the on-field feedback from Rico?
No, I didn't actually. I only played the first half, so apparently we disrespected the haka or something like that. But by no means was that the case, in my opinion.
A lot happened during the game and has happened since Melbourne. How much extra spice will there be here tomorrow night, do you think, James?
Well, I think it's good. Like as I said earlier, we've lost the trophy, and that's probably the most important thing that has come out of game one, and that's the disappointing thing. But for us, every time you get to pull on the Wallaby jersey, it's a proud moment for us as players. But to play against the All Blacks is, for us as an Australian team, we love it.
So despite the cup being gone for another year, there's still...
There's plenty riding on this. We haven't won here since the 80s, mate. So, it's going to be a big effort from us to get the result, but we're pretty hell-bent on getting a performance in.
Since before you were born, I think.
Yeah, just. Yeah. I'm still born the 80s, but, half our team are born the 2000s. So,
there you go.
Yeah, it's been a while between drinks, and, it's something that, kind of hurts me.
While we're talking about old blokes, how good is it to see Bernard Foley in his career renaissance?
Yeah, it's great. The little piggy played really well on the weekend or on Thursday, so he gets another crack this weekend, and he's been a massive addition to our squad. Just that, as you said, experience, just having that voice within the group. It's vital for us as a squad, especially going into the World Cup, having a couple of experienced players around the group. We've obviously lost a lot of players this year through injuries. We've lost Quady. We've lost Samu. There's a handful of guys that are key members of our group, and to have someone like Nardi come in and add has been really good for us. So hopefully he plays well tomorrow.
What would it mean to you to win here?
It'd mean a hell of a lot. It's been that long since we've won here, and most of the boys have won here at Super Rugby, but I think for us, winning here would, every game you play, you're trying to win. It's just a matter about getting it done and not talking about it. So it's a Bledisloe game. The trophy's won by the ABs, but we're not taking it as a dead rubber.
What do you expect from the Irish?
Pardon?
What do you expect from the Irish referee tomorrow night?
I expect a good game. The one thing about the last week's game, it was actually a really, really good game to play in and to watch as well. It was. In terms of the game itself, it was a cracker. That's the unfortunate thing about the outcome of it was, we were talking about the refereeing, and it kind of took away from the game itself. So in terms of the refereeing, we got full confidence in the referees this weekend, and hopefully we have another cracking game like we did last week.
If they're going to ref it one way, you want consistency, right? From a World Rugby point of view, if that's how they're going to do things, then.
Well, consistency. You talk about consistency. It's interesting because I haven't seen some of those calls before. So I guess we'll find out tomorrow if it's consistent or not.
With the boomerang, is that something you do against Fiji and Samoa and Tonga as well, or the other teams you do it?
We haven't really played too much against those teams, but it's something that we'll probably look at, definitely.
And how much do you take out of the comeback you guys had last week, and about how well you finished in the game? Is that get lost in all the sort of talk about what happened? But is that something you?
It certainly wasn't lost in on the inside of our group. We spoke about the character we've shown, definitely in the second half. We were down to 13 men there for a while, and that's when the ABs piled on the points. And they're a team it's hard enough playing against with 15 players. So we did well to fight back in the game, and we did well to get our noses in front there at the end. It just it was just a tough way to lose the game. But extremely proud of the way the boys turned up, and what we're after is just another performance like that.
Last couple, thanks.
Can I ask, given the Rugby Championship still on the line, is there a belief that you can win it this year?
Oh, there's always a belief. If there's a chance of winning it, we're always going to strive for our best. So, unfortunately, we're in a position where other results have to go a certain way, and it's probably that's something that most teams don't want to be in, that sort of position. But that's where we are now, and I think for us, we're just focusing on playing the All Blacks here at Eden Park tomorrow, mate. And the wash up will happen, and we'll see where we end up.
Can I ask about Suni Vunivalu? Because I think a lot of fans were pretty excited when he announced.
Sulu.
Yes, thank you. When he announced his changing coach, he hasn't seen a lot of minutes. He's not played in the Rugby Championship. How's he going? How's he looking in training? In the squad?
Yeah, he's coming along well. He's obviously had quite a few injuries, especially through Super Rugby. So, from my point of view, not being at his club, I wasn't too sure what was going on there with his hamstring. So, for him, at the moment he's really fit and he's training well, and he'll feature at some point throughout the year. And I think for him, he just needs to get that time in the saddle, one on the training paddock, and then hopefully get some game time later in the year.
And just an extension to this question, would it be bittersweet or ironic in any way if you won at Eden Park but didn't win the Bledisloe Cup?
Yeah, that's actually a really tough question, because I'd throw in most of my games, mate, to win the Bledisloe. So, winning here is our focus now, because at the end of the day, the Bledisloe's lost. So our focus is just winning here tomorrow and making sure that we just stick to our game plan and our process to getting the job done.
Sam, any extra kind of feeling in this week, I suppose, particularly given the manner in which it all unfolded in Melbourne?
It's funny you say that. For us as players, us as a team, these games are always the games we want to play, and it doesn't matter what the results have been previously. Playing at home against Aussie in the Rugby Championship, Bledisloe Cup game, awesome. They're the challenges you want to be part of.
What sort of response do you expect from the Wallabies then this week, I suppose, given those things we talked about and the manner in which it all ended last week?
Yeah, they're obviously going to be bitterly disappointed, as any team would be. So they're going to come out and put their best game out in front of us. So that's what we want. We want to play against the best teams, and they're going to bring the best as they always do. They never seem to lie down. They always come with the attitude of playing, and I think we saw that last week with their never say die attitude when they came back from a lot of points down.
Do you think the Wallabies boomerang disrespects the haka?
No, not at all. I think they're obviously doing something that they want to do, show that they're together as a country, and everyone knows that the boomerang comes from Australia, so for them that's cool.
Do you think there's anything in that little spat Dave Reddy revealed the other day?
No, not at all. Like, obviously on the field everyone's pretty fired up, want to get stuck into each other. As I said before, these games are awesome to be part of, and sometimes the tensions do go a little bit high, but the reality is we're moving forward and worrying about this week.
Game 140 tomorrow. It's quite an achievement, not far from 148. Macau, chase that down next year.
I just got to deal with the week in front, which is what I'm trying to do this week. I think if you start counting tests, you get yourself into trouble. So for myself and for everyone in the whole squad, we know that we're just got to perform this week and then deal with the week after. I know that's pretty much an old cliche, but it definitely comes true at the moment.
I know there's no tests here next year because of the Women's Football World Cup. So is this going to be your last test on Eden Park?
I didn't know there was no test here, so you're obviously in the loop more than I am. Can't say I've thought about it at all. Yet again, I'm just worrying about this week. I'll deal with that.
You'll play it like it's your last, right?
Well, you've got to play everyone like it's your last. You never know when it is, whether that's through selection, injury, etc. So you never want to go out there and hold back. So that's on all of us as players. You want to go out and put your best foot forward, and it always starts with effort. So that's what I'm going to try to do tomorrow.
As you mentioned before, you've still got a heck of a lot to play for. Is consistency high on that list?
Yeah, big time. We haven't had the smoothest of years, I will say. So being able to put performances back to back is something that we're always looking to do. and also performances throughout the whole game. We don't want to, do really well and then allow our team to come back like we did last week. So it'd be quite nice if we didn't allow that.
The Dave Riddy comments in that, is that just kind of par for the course in a Bledisloe week as far as you're concerned?
I don't even know what's been said, to tell you the truth. So yeah, it's
stuff about the respecting the haka, and he had a pop at Fletcher Newell for injuring Scott Seo. Stuff like that, is that just kind of par for the course in a week like this?
Honestly, this is the first time I've heard it, so I'm not going to probably make a comment on it if I haven't looked at it and understood it too much. But I just think that's the way it is. We play a physical sport, and at times people probably do go a little bit far, but that's something that you've got to understand. You want to be a good bloke on the field and a good bloke off the field, and the easiest way to do that is play hard and play fair.
Sam, can you just confirm, as regards to the haka, that when a team stands up to it, when a team accepts the challenge and walks towards it, you don't take any offence in that, right?
For myself, no. I think I do the haka for the team with me, alongside me, in front of me, etc. So that's why I do the haka, so they can do whatever they want, and if they want to do something that makes them feel connected, then that's great. That probably adds to the occasion.
63rd test with Brodie, equalling Bucky's and Victor Matfield from memory. How special is that?
Yet again, your stats are better than mine, and you're up with all the latest things. Yeah, Guz and I played a lot of rugby together, know each other pretty well now, and you never want to take one for granted, but really nice to be out there tomorrow night with a guy that I've played a heap of rugby with. And
been through a lot together, right?
Yeah, so it's nice just to know, right, he'll go about his work, I'll go about mine, and hopefully we can help the team in that way.
As captain, will the title implications in the Rugby Championship be in the back of your mind at all?
No, not really. I think you could fall into that trap pretty quick. You've got to go out there and deal with what's in front, and we've got to play Australia at home in a massive game, and then as the game unfolds, I'm sure there'll be some messages coming down if we need that. If we don't, there won't be.
Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. Today's preview as the All Blacks look to try and get themselves into pole position to win the Rugby Championship against the Wallabies this weekend at their favourite hunting ground, Eden Park. A very, very important game, and from a Springbok point of view, very important to see an Australian victory. And there's quite a few injuries to the New Zealand side, which does make things quite complicated. However, it is still a very strong All Black side, and I think that the changes that haven't made to the All Black side, I don't think weaken them very much. And in fact, I think that a couple of them could actually really favour New Zealand. So it should be quite an interesting clash to see exactly how things go. For Australia, for that point, we need Australia to get to do one of two things: either prevent New Zealand from getting a bonus point, or ideally actually win the game. But playing at Eden Park is very difficult to get a win there. That it is where the rugby where the All Blacks bring teams when they need a victory. They just don't lose Eden Park. It's just not something that really happens very often. But hopefully this weekend we can see something a little bit different. But before we look at some of the changes made in the teams that line up, please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. And we'll start with the All Blacks, who have had to take a couple of injury-enforced changes. So this is how they will line up this weekend. Now, in front row, Samasari Tankau gets a break and is on the bench. And as a result, Cody Taylor will start in the starting lineup. So that's something we've seen too much of. I don't think we've seen it at all, actually, in the Rugby Championship. He'll be next to Ethan de Groot and Turo Lomax. Then in the middle, in the second row, Brady Talik will partner Sam Whitelock, who will actually captain the side with the injury to Sam Cane, forcing him out for this weekend. We've then got Akira Awani into the loose trio, Dalton Papali'i, who replaces Sam Cane. However, the big boost for the All Blacks is the fact that Artis Sabir is back in that number 8 jersey. In the back line, Aaron Smith partners Richie Mwanga, Caleb Clark, Will Jordan remain. However, there is a change in the centre combination. Jordan Barrett will start at inside centre, where he finished last weekend because of the injury to David Habili, whilst Bowden Barrett will slot in at 15. Off the bench, we're going to see Samasari Takawao, Opatunga Farsi, Nepulo Lala as the reserve front row. You've then got Tupa Ovide, Hoskins Tutu, Finley Christie, but Roger Tuabasi Sheikh comes into this side, or to 23 rather, as does Sebu Reese. So as I said, still a very strong All Black side, and still very much a side that can cause a lot of issues. However, I do think that, on paper, it's not the strongest side they can put out. If you look at the Australian side, a couple of nice players returning for them, but no Darcy Swain, who has received a 6-match ban, which is effectively a 3-match ban by virtue of them naming him in the end of year tour, which means that he will only actually play sit out of three Australian matches, which is a bit of a fault, considering the fact that he shouldn't have ever been named in an Australia A tour. If you look at the lineup, though, James Slipper, Dave Brecky, Alan Alatoa, you've then got Jed Holloway, Cameron Neville coming into the side in the second row, adding quite a lot of bulk, very big physical player. You then got Rob Ballantini, Pete Samu, and Harry Wilson as your loose trio. So Rob Ballantini shifting to number 6, and Harry Wilson, a very aggressive ball carrier, lots of physicality from him side, comes back into the side after overcoming an injury. I'm hoping that he'll be a big boost to the side and very much add a different aspect of physicality to the Australians. Jake Gordon, Bernard Furley, Marikai Korobetti, Neleka Paketi, Nene Kital, Tom Wright, Andrew Kellaway. It's an unchanged backline from the one that looked pretty decent last weekend. And Bernard Furley on the back foot is very big for controversy. I think Marshall was a very good return from the fly half at 10. And I think that if he plays well this weekend, it'll go a long way towards Australia being very competitive. We then had Lapa Inga, Angus back in the side, and Pona Famasili, who are the reserve front row. Nick Frost comes into the side. Fraser McWright, Nick White, Reece Hodge, and Jordan Petia will round up 23. It's a good Australian side. It's definitely an Australian side that can try and go toe-to-toe against a very strong All Black side, who I think will be playing with confidence, given the fact that they have won the last few in a row, but we'll know that they will have to be at their best to be competitive. Let me know what you think should happen down the game, down in the comments below. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Stephen. I'll chat to you soon. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. It is go time. It is D-Day. It is squeaky bum time if you're a South African fan, because every single positive New Zealand thing that we're going to see today is going to be ripping a piece of our soul out, because we need Australia to do us a favor. And unfortunately, I'm not sure we can ever rely on Australia to help us out. But we need them to help us out. But more to the point, it is the Rugby Championship close. Probably, I think we can probably safely say, the best Rugby Championship we've ever seen. It is. It is the best Rugby Championship we've had. I mean, we are sitting on the last day of the Rugby Championship, and all 4 teams can mathematically still win the title today. We've never, ever had that. It's been incredibly enjoyable. It's been incredibly competitive. And I think it's been incredibly good for Southern Hemisphere and World Rugby. The fact that the new World Rugby order is so competitive. There's no more. It's no longer a case of 2 or 3 teams completely dominating everything else. We're looking at a World Rugby order where we've got 7, 8 teams who are not worlds apart. Maybe a top 4, and then a bottom 4 where there is a little bit of a gap. But we've seen Argentina beat New Zealand. We've seen New Zealand beat South Africa. We've seen South Africa beat New Zealand. We've seen South Africa beat Wallabies. South Africa actually, if South Africa win tonight, they'll be the only team not to have lost against every single opposition in this Rugby Championship, interestingly enough. So it's been a really interesting Rugby Championship, and I just hope that today, whatever happens in this first game, even if the All Blacks win, even if they win with the bonus point, they need to not win by that point, by a bit of a margin, because we want it to be mathematically interesting. I mean, look, ideally, you want them to win without a bonus point, and then it really is game on for South Africa. Bonus point win tonight gives them the result. But the last thing we need, the only thing I really want is I want it to be possible, and not possible in that mathematically possible. I want it to be almost be probable. I want it to be like, if you can get 20 points win tonight against Argentina, or 25 even, or even 30 points win against Argentina, that will win your Rugby Championship. I can deal with that. If it's a case of you just need a bonus point, that's even better. But I think that we've been very privileged to be able to watch such a competitive Rugby Championship across the various match. If you're looking to watch the game, you can watch it for free on Channel 9, actually, for Australia. So what you can do is you can download ExpressVPN, and you can then go and connect to an Australian server, and you can then go onto Gem, and it is on 9 now, and it's completely live. Completely free. All you have to do is to sign up, and you can watch it. So that's how you can watch the game. Check the link in the description. You've got your link to ExpressVPN. Download that, get that sorted, then you just connect to 9, and you can live stream the game for Frizzos, which should be a really good game as well. So make sure you don't miss any of the action, and also come and just join the Watchalong. Go and get yourself sorted, turn the game on, and then come and chill in the comments. Come and have conversations. Let's chat some rugby, shall we? But before we sort of get to the game, obviously got to look at where the teams are at and what we can expect to see today. But in the case you've missed it, this is how New Zealand and Australia will be lining up today. Right, and there we go. Those are the lineups for the match. The haka is underway and kickoff will be in the next few minutes. Right, just a reminder that we are currently being sponsored by BetCoza, who are powering today's show, and we are going to be running a competition. So, in the comments right now, I want to get your score predictions down. And if you're in South Africa, you're going to have the chance to win a 100 Rand free bet. No, all you have to do is sign up, basically. No strings attached, 100 Rand free bet. For the winner of today's score prediction. So, to win that 100 Rand free bet, first of all, you need to go up and sign for BetCoza. There is the link in the description. I'm going to put it in the comments as well. And then I want to give your score prediction down in the comments. And the person with the closest prediction will win a 100 Rand free bet, courtesy of BetCoza. We're also going to be doing that for the URC game today. Between Bulls and Edinburgh, as well as the Springbok game. So get yourself sorted on BetCoza right now and get yourself that standard chance to win a free bet. And a big thank you to BetCoza for partnering us, for sponsoring us, and for giving us some free bets to give away to you, the people. Right, we are just about to get underway. The referee today is Andrew Brace from Ireland. He'll be assisted by Mathieu Reynolds, who was the controversial French referee from last weekend's fiasco. Very big interested to see how he goes, and a lot of criticism towards him as well. But if you're still looking to watch the game, check the link in the description. You can download ExpressVPN and you can then go and watch on Channel 9, which is a free-to-air broadcaster. All you have to do is register. You don't have to pay anything like that, and you can go and watch it that way. So that's very, very easy. But apart from that, we'll have a live score as always for you, bringing you all the live action here on Freo Sport. Big game. Big game. As you said, a couple of very interesting changes to see who's playing where today. You have Geordie Barrett playing at inside centre for the All Blacks. Artie Severe is back. Sam Whitelock captaining the side. So lots of different things. And we are underway. Australia playing right to left. And it should be an early touch for Geordie Barrett in the number 12 jersey. And a strong chase from Andrew Kellaway brings him down well inside the New Zealand 22. Aaron Smith asking Rattler to make his first carry of the day. Now Beauden Barrett in that 15 jersey today. Long kick out towards Jed Holloway. Now America Corbett. Australia with possession up towards the 10-metre line for Australia. Release. They have to release this. So Australia will have possession. Jake Gordon giving up to Alan Adelatoa. Oh, that's a good line break. He's through. He needs support. Brilliant run this from Jed Holloway. Now, quick ball. Foley gives it flat to Adelatoa. Wasn't really expecting it, but managed to shuffle to the right and get himself a bit of momentum. Australia inside the 22. Flat from Jake Gordon. Pete Samu. It's a very big loose trio. A lot of players who have all played sort of number 8 in their careers. Now, there's been a couple of players here. Oh, he got straight through, but it's a penalty for New Zealand. And a very promising passage of play comes to an end, but a very good start there from Australia. Nice line break, good momentum. Right, so then it's going New Zealand 32, Australia 17. The big thing for me is just not to let New Zealand get a bonus point. Australia have got to try and score a couple of tries today. If I can see Australia scoring 1 or 2 tries, I'll be a very happy man. And it looks like both teams, but I hate both teams, but I guess today I hate New Zealand more. Let's go Wallabies. I'll be saying Oz always gives them a chance. That's a pretty poor clean out that from Parecki, which is what led to the penalty. And it looks like it's going to be... Well, I mean, we're so stupid. I mean, really, it's a good start. And all of a sudden, TMO's going to get involved. And it looks like Parecki could very much be going to the bin here. I mean, he lifts him up. And dumps him over the horizontal. Yeah, I mean, I don't see how he doesn't get sent off here. It's a really poor clean down from Dalton Papali from Parecki. And just so unnecessary as well. I mean, you can't lift a player up like that. And then you have the responsibility to bring him down safely. I mean, if he might escape a red just because of that of the Australian player there. But absolutely brain dead from David Parecki. Oh, sorry, it's Jed Holloway, not correct. It's Jed Holloway. He was the man who made the line break, who started this whole thing. Yeah, the other card. You're going to see the other card for Australia. Absolute idiot. I mean, you're in a game here fighting for the Rugby Championship. The one thing you cannot afford to do is gift them opportunities like a yellow card. And all of a sudden, after a very bright start from the Wallabies, they are down to 14 men. And if New Zealand capitalise on this, it could already be a very long way back for Australia. They don't be careful. But New Zealand with the first opportunity. Now Cody Taylor goes to the line-out. It's a messy line-out. And Aaron Smith's under a bit of pressure. There's a knock-on advantage. But New Zealand do have it. So well contested by Australia. Now the ball comes out to Papali'i. Good tackle there from Harry Wilson back into the side for Australia. And the number 8 jersey. Now Rob Valentini in the number 6 jersey driving his opposite number back. Akira Awani today. Will Jordan, that's a pretty poor... David Reki's kicked that through. Advantage over. So Geordie Barrett now trying to clean up. Shows a bit of the ball and is brought down by Harry Wilson. Starts out at 22. So Messi here for New Zealand. But they're going to go back. How are they going back for the knock-on here, referee? That was like 3 phases ago. Well, 1 minute down on the other card. Much better from Australia. They're trying to keep themselves in the fight. Right, so first scrum of the day. Well, they've done pretty well to slow things down here. Already 2.5 minutes on the bin here. We still haven't had the scrum. But it's a big scrum there from the All Blacks. There's going to be a penalty for them now. Penalty advantage there. Julian Severe. I'm sorry, Julian Severe. So I think Richard Mwanga back to Geordie Barrett. Roden Barrett comes inside. Roden Barrett almost through. Is anybody going to tackle him? Tips ahead. Corey Betty's got to get it across. And Corey Betty will trot across. So all of a sudden, straight pinned right back on the... And they have a 5-metre line out. That's really well worked from New Zealand. Pretty poor defending from Australia. But they're going to have that overlap the entire time because of the man in the bin. So I was about to say, if you actually look at it, Corey Betty, because he's an idiot, has run out behind the flag and has therefore received and as a result, as you can see, the 5-metre scrum. I mean, come now, Australia. Do you guys want to try and win the Rugby Championship? Do you want to put yourself in with a chance? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, New Zealand with a 5-metre scrum. Need a much better scrum than the last one, but they are a man down, missing a lot of weight from the likes of Jed Holloway, who's in the bin. Big attacking opportunity here for New Zealand, they'll have the overlap. Jake Gordon have to watch the blind side. The scrum's gone down, penalty advantage. So they've got penalty advantage here. New Zealand on the front foot. They're over the line, but I think it will be held up. No advantage, going back for the penalty. Right, they've now got the option. They're going to go for the scrum or they're going to kick out for touch. Sam Whitelock is the same point touch. He wants to try and set up a rolling more here. And Wallabies now just weathering an early All Black storm. So let's try and get through the 4-5 minutes with Holloway in the bin. Once again, if you're looking to watch the game, check the link in the description. Download ExpressVPN. You can watch the game for free on Channel 9. You can also use a Stan Sports trial later to watch the Springboks versus Australia game. It is a trial, so you don't even have to worry about paying. Free trial, 7 days. We'll sort you out for today. That's a huge scrum coming here from New Zealand. Everyone with the scrum. The ball pops out for Aaron Smith. Caleb Clark comes a bit short. The ball actually goes loose, and Jake Gordon will cause a knock-on the tackle. Otherwise, it would have been turnover ball, but it will be another scrum for Australia. And I think that's quite a harsh call, you know. I think that this was ripped in the tackle. Jake Gordon almost doing brilliant work there. Knocking it on after the rip, but they managed to wind down a bit of time. Still another scrum, but they need to try and sort of front up here, Australia, under big pressure at the scrum time. At the moment, it's just New Zealand going to walk over the line if they don't be careful. We're almost up to the 9-minute mark in the game. 3 minutes left in the yellow card. Still scoreless at Eden Park. New Zealand's favourite hunting ground. It's a bit of a better scrum there from Australia. They call us to use it. The ball's come loose. And it's a penalty against Australia. I think the call is offside against Pete Samu. I mean, it's against Bernard Foley, apparently. He was nowhere near the action, so... Right, so New Zealand going to the corner. So Bernard Foley, the man being penalised. Big bit of under marks for Bernard Foley after his mistake last week. And Artie Sevier off the back of the line-out. And a penalty for Australia. That is massive. Going off their feet at the breakdown. New Zealand desperate to try and secure that ball. They've conceded a penalty. And the Wallabies have survived. And if they can get this down part of the field and play another 2 minutes, they might have been able to actually survive this yellow card. Well, that's a big moment in the game. To have been under that much pressure, I mean, the scrums were looking one way, the lines were looking one way. They somehow managed to hang on. And they've survived with 1 minute 41. Bernard Foley needs to be careful how long he does take to take his penalty, but he does find touch. I mean, that was such a skew throw for the line. I mean, Brodie O'Taylor was catching that ball over the Australian on the floor. But that's a very big moment in the game. They go to the front of the line of the Australians. Pete Samu looking to set up the rolling wall. Perretti controlling things at the back, but they found a few meters here of Australia, so looking pretty promising. Back to Jake Gordon, who's looking to box kick. Gordon does go high, being chased hard by Tom Wright. Caleb Clark, solid take. New Zealand with possession side of the half. Richie Mwanga shifting out wide. They've got some numbers here to Australia if they want to use them. Cuts inside here, does Will Jordan. Smith goes flat to Brody Retallick. It's a very strong tackle, but it's a big tackle made on him as well. New Zealand up towards the 10-metre line. Now shifting to the left. Richie Mwanga looking for options. Bit of a sloppy pass here. And it's turnover ball. Pete Sami jumping on that. And a penalty for Australia as well. And I think they need to slow things down, because I think if you go for poles here, they're just inside the half. It's front of poles. You'll be able to get Jed Holloway back on, and you will actually be able to find the lead. I'll be saying Taylor's never had a good throw. Now, I mean, that for me, I should have been penalised. Right, so Australia going for the line here. Jed Holloway will be able to join them for the line out. That's a very nice touch by Murdoch Foley as well. He finds touch inside the 22. Come on. It's weird. I don't think I can bring myself to say, come on, Australia. But at least I can sort of celebrate the momentum in the game and rather what's happening to New Zealand. But we need Australia to score first and to try and score twice. We need Australia to win. But realistically, at Eden Park, just to deny a bonus point would be a massive result for the Box. Really set them up for tonight. Right, Dave Parecki. New Zealand do contest, and it comes up, but Australia do manage to get it. The question is, can they get it down? It is available for Australia. Pick up and go from Parecki. He makes a meter or two. Pick up and go for Pete Sami as well. Good work there from Sami. That towards the 5 meter. Another pick up and go from Alatoa this time. Very strong leg drive. Finds a meter or two as well. Very good momentum here from Australia. Jake Gordon wants a few runners. Now, very direct there from Australia. Parecki pick up and go. He's slightly isolated. Needs a bit of support. Artie Severe's trying to get in all over that. As is Sam Whitelock. This is going to be turned over, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, Parecki, what are you thinking? They take it quickly. Yeah, Kerry Taylor's take it quickly. They want to run it. Ricky Owani gets away from one. Outside 22. Now, Aaron Smith decides to put the ball to the boot. Tom Wright is chasing back. He's on the hot pursuit from a Barrett. He does well to hold it out to Morokai Korobeti. What will Korobeti do? Looks to chip and chase. Pretty poor kick, but the bounce might favour him. It does favour him. He puts another together through, and now we've got a foot race. Will Jordan's coming back. He's under a lot of pressure here. And he's been brought down in the 5 meter. This is brilliant, by the way, from Foketi. Lalakai Foketi, that is. Bowden Barrett eventually managed to find touch, but New Zealand not out the woods, and they find touch still inside the 22. So brilliant work there from Korobeti. The initial kick didn't look particularly well, almost looked like it skewed, but it actually ended up in the middle of no man's land. He managed to regather and dab it through. And good work from Wright and Foketi and Gordon and Korobeti. And Alatoa also coming through and trying to counter-ruck. So it's really good work from Australia. Jordy Barrett's got a cut in his head. He's going to have to go and get that fixed up. Right, they go short here, do Australia. Now a big carry for Harry Wilson. Back into the side. Big ball carry number 8. Gordon going to Valentini, who's been their primary ball carrier all rugby championship, managing to spin away from the tackle and find an extra yard or two. Artis Severe almost stepping through. And Alatoa, been very industrious so far, makes it a few more meters. Now, that's well held on by Korobeti. Good offload there from Kellaway, giving him into a bit of a gap. 7th phase here for the Wallabies is looking promising for them. Good handling there. Good line being run by Harry Wilson, who almost fumbles it. And been knocked on. Foketi was over, but been knocked on by Jed Holloway. I mean, if they managed to get it, if he got that offload off the tackle, I think it was Harry Wilson actually in the end of it. It's a really good angle being run. It's almost a harsh knock on, you know. Wayne said new rules have been brought in to drag the All Blacks down to everyone else's level. Good to see Australia suffering at hands of ref after number he did in the box in Perth. He is not up to international standard. All right, 60 minutes, still scoreless. Much better scrum there from New Zealand. Wasn't back to a full contingent. Right, Geordie Barrett from the base of the scrum will find touch. Bit of territory game there from New Zealand. Finds touch. And he's got to go off. He's got blood streaming down the side of his head. We're going to have a water break here. Once again, if you are looking to watch the game, check the link in the description. You can download ExpressVPN and watch it on Channel 9, which is free. All you have to do is sign up. Also, if you're watching South Africa, we are powered by BetCoza. We can still do our score predictions up until half-time. Closest score prediction will win a 100 Rand free bet, but you have to be registered to BetCoza to use it. So go and get yourself sorted right now. Go and register for BetCoza and stand a chance to win a 100 Rand free bet. Good line up there from Australia. Pretty flat here for Rob Ballatini. So tackle made by him from Papali'i. Now they decide to switch the angle here. For Ikatau carrying it into contact. Now Wilson. Nice acceleration, but it's a big tackle on him, driving him back. Now Alatoa manages to get the offload. Very good hands there from Gordon. Not too much on for Bernard Foley, so just dabs it in behind. If that didn't man stay in, I think Tom Wright could have been in there. Right, front of the line out there for New Zealand. Long pass out to Geordie Barrett. So it's Papali'i actually who's carrying that in. Kirwani now. And a penalty for New Zealand for not running away. Right, that's a good point actually. I still have the yellow card up. I'm so used to the fact that the scoreboard is automatic that I've forgotten I have to do the yellow cards. Wait, so why watch the game live when all I see is All Blacks getting penalised? Where can you watch the game? Watch Channel 9. Channel 9 is an Australian broadcaster, a free-to-air broadcaster. So if you download ExpressVPN and you connect to an Australian server, you can then sign up on Channel 9 and you can watch the game. So basically what ExpressVPN does is it makes it seem as if your device is in Australia, which gives you access to Channel 9. And all you have to do is you sign up. You don't need any credit card details. You sign up. You just, you Google an Australian postal code. You add that in and you can watch the game. For free. Right, line out here for New Zealand off the back of the penalty, but Australia have stolen it, and Pereki throws a long wayward pass out to, and the ball comes loose. And all of a sudden it's back on the hands of New Zealand. Really poor pass from Pereki, putting his side under pressure. Now they've got numbers. Brody Retallick keeping it short, trying to get the offload off the ground. Aaron Smith wants to go wide quickly. Broden Barrett tries to put the kick ahead. And the ball is the ball is kicked into an Australian player, but New Zealand have managed to win it back. Aaron Smith going now short for Lomax. Big hit there from Till Lomax, getting some good forward momentum. Now Artie Severe. And a penalty of advantage for offside as well for New Zealand. And they will. And I think we're going to see the first points of the day, to be honest. I think that we're going to see New Zealand kick a 3 here. I think James Slipper's about to get an official warning for discipline for his side. Yeah, I need to have a word as the call from the referee, but no yellow card yet. It's been a very entertaining match so far, to be fair. It's been pretty end-to-end. And I think I've been impressed by Australia being able to stay in the fight. I think they now need to try and sort their discipline out because they're conceding far too many penalties. But they've kept it scoreless so far for the first 20 minutes. And Richie Mo'unga is going to take the 3. Oh dear, so Viketi's leaving the park. Right, so after 20 minutes, we finally have our first points. Richie Mo'unga slots the 3 and gets the scoreboard going. New Zealand 3-0 after 20 minutes. But a big blow for Australia as Lalakai Viketi leaves the park and Jordan Petaia is on in place of him. Looks like a pretty packed Eden Park as well. Looks like a good atmosphere. So far, conditions have been quite good. We did see very wet conditions yesterday at the captain's run. Sam Whitelock was absolutely drenched when he does media stand-up. But they go down the middle of the park to Australia, and Geordie Barrett is smashed in the tackle. And a big counter-attack coming from Australia. And Pete Samu just doesn't understand the rules because he's done really well to get through the middle and then grab the ball and gone down. He came through the middle. He's allowed to play, but he can't go. He can't be off his feet. They have been the most ill-disciplined side in the Rugby Championship. 77 penalties they have conceded so far. I mean, it's a really good counter-attack. Gets up, goes straight through the middle, muscles his way through, but then dives over the ball. Now, if he picks it up and keeps going, he's all right. We go to the front of the line here to New Zealand. Odyssey Severe, Aaron Smith, very flat to Richie Mo'unga. Good tackle, but a good offload to Geordie Barrett. And a very good offload to Will Jordan. Now Brody Metallic trying to get over the advantage line. Good work here being made by New Zealand. Richie Mo'unga pretty flat to Barrett. Flat to Rico 1. He gets past the 1. Pretty poor tackle attempt there from Tom Wright. And New Zealand almost up to 22. Short to Lomax. And Toe making the tackle. Slow ball. Aaron Smith goes to Richie Mo'unga. Richie Mo'unga to Papali'i. James Slipper out early and quick to make the tackle. Barrett goes to Will Jordan. Will Jordan trying to find the outside. And Will Jordan's going to go over. That is abject defending. Abject defending. It's great pace being shown there by Will Jordan. But he measured up his man and decided to back himself. He's gone over. This is not what we needed. Australia. Yeah, and Jordan Petaia's first contribution is to be outstripped on the outside by Will Jordan, who goes over. He just keeps going. He just keeps going as Will Jordan, and Jordan Petaia is just beaten for pace. And I think that's probably my fault, because I was about to say that Will Jordan hasn't quite had the breakthrough year he had last year, and just to flip and spite me, decides to go and score a try. What a prick. Right, that's try number 1. They need to get 3 more tries than Australia. So what we need is now Australia to reply and score another try themselves. Ten 0 It's taken them a while, but the All Blacks do have the breakthrough they've been searching for. Dear, it's gonna be a stressful watch. I need Australia to score a try. We need Australia to score 2 tries. Even if they lose, we need them to try and score 2 tries. They go down the middle once again. Geordie Barrett once again. Pete Samu is there once again. So it looks pretty common copy from the last one. Big counter coming from Australia. The ball is loose. Aaron Smith pops it up to De Groot. Aaron Smith to Richie Mwanga pumps it down the center of the park. Foley's behind it. He's got right to his right. Inside ball to Tom Wright, who's landed right in front of Sam Whitelock, and there's no support, but no release there, I think, and no running away. And they're taking it quickly as Wright, as he chipped to their head as well. And he's given the position away to Geordie Barrett. I mean, it's such a silly decision. All of a sudden now, the All Blacks are going to probably score a try. Rieko Ioane is off. Rieko Ioane's off. He's got Will Jordan on his outside. Rieko Ioane goes himself. All this because Tom Wright, who's been absolutely appalling all day, decides to take a quick tap. And Australia have gone from a penalty, and they've got a penalty advantage to do New Zealand. And we're going to say yellow card. Tom Wright, you absolute fool. I mean, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? It's a penalty on the 10-meter line. Bernard Foley could put you in the 22, 10 meters, 15 meters out from the try line with a line out, but no. Quick tap, and then dabs the ball through, gives them possession back, and all of a sudden, you're back under pressure. And now James Slipper's being viewed for potential shoulder charge, so they could be losing James Slipper. They've got a penalty in a very, very kickable position. They could be going down to 14 men. I mean, I don't think Slipper was ever back on side. And then it looks like he's just dropped his shoulder onto Britannic. So this is not looking good for Australia, really. It does wrap, does Slipper. It actually might be alright here, you know. He gets very low here. He does wrap. This is interesting because they penalized him for being offside. Now they're saying he's offside. Initially, as I said, a few seconds earlier, they said that in fact maybe he wasn't offside. This is weird. Now he's offside, so the penalty stands, but there's no yellow card. I think Slipper can feel a little bit aggrieved there. I mean, he literally said, yeah, for me, he gets it back on side. Then they're looking at the tackle, which he clearly does wrap. No, that's no issue with the tackle. I don't know what Metallic's on about. He does clearly wrap. Right, New Zealand foot on the throats here, going to the corner. And Australia need to find their way back to the other side of the field. They've got to try and find a try for half time here. But under a lot of pressure. 40 minutes to go until the break. Good line there to Whitelock. Big kind of shove here from New Zealand, but they've shifted the contact and they're going to go over here. There's just no Australian players there. It has gone down. Penalty try. And this all goes down to Tom Wright, who decides to take a quick tap. Yeah, you moron. You idiot. You've just costed the entire rugby championship. You've just ruined the entire spectacle. I mean, you had a penalty. You had a penalty. You've taken it quickly. For no reason, by the way. No reason. When you're under pressure. So you actually could have just kicked yourself to the corner, taken the line out. Cool. You've taken it quickly, kicked the ball away. He's in the counter-attack, gone to Australia's half. Won a penalty, kicked to the corner. Penalty try is the result. And a yellow card to Parecki. Or because you thought you wanted to be the hero and take a quick tap. And all of a sudden it's 17-0. If you'd scored from it, it could have been, we've gone from what could have been 10-7 to 17-0 with the yellow card. Because of one brain-dead decision. Get him off the park. Get him off the park. Right, they decide to go to the right. A bit of a variation from the kickball. Mwanga returns the ball. Foley's trying to find something. He sees a bit of space. And William Barrett reads it well. Puts on his boots. And if this runs out, it's going to be 50-22. But really good work there from Kellaway. He puts down the throat of Will Jordan, the try scorer. Now what's Will Jordan going to conjure up? He's looking to run. He's looking to run. Runs into a New Zealand player. I was about to say Kellaway was fuming. And there's an obstruction, so it's a penalty for Australia. Right. Another good kick from Bernard Foley. He's putting himself in good positions from the penalty. Right, and no hooker, so they had to. Pete Salmon's actually taking the hook, and Pete Salmon down the short side. Work here, go Pete, go Pete. Well, that's worked pretty well. I'll tell you what, Parecki can stay there. Pete Salmon has decided to take the line, so he went short, gave him the inside. All of a sudden, Australia are 5 meters out, pops it up to Valentini. Valentini's driving hard. There's no rolling away, so they've got a penalty advantage as well. They go short. Holloway, Corbetti's over. They're going to look at it. Oh my goodness. If Corey Betty's butchered this, then I might have to get on a plane, fly over there. I mean, this could be the second mistake of Corey Betty. I mean, is this guy like, all right? I mean, he ran over the dead ball line earlier when he could have just run into touch. And now they're having to check to see if he's essentially stepped in touch right in the corner. I mean, if he's butchered this, it'll be incredible. Jordan says, can't count on odds for nothing. Joan says, New Zealand versus Oz is the most boring game. Same old, never going to change. And they criticize our rugby for being right. So let's see. He's in touch. How has he butchered that? I mean, literally a pick up and down. Bang, bang. That's all you have to do. Pick up and go over. There was literally nobody in front of him. And he's butchered it. You're going to take this quickly. Gordon goes to Valentini. Ball's available there. Pete Samu. That's a good carry from him up to a few meters. Good momentum here from Australia. And Harry Wilson is just short. And it's been turned over. Corey Betty, you absolute... Now, what's going to be the decision here? The whistle's gone. We don't know who's got the ball. He's got hold up. Corey Betty. I mean, you almost feel like he's doing that to spite us. What an absolute idiot. Now Harry Wilson's putting his head down. Bang! Big tackle on him, but a pretty courageous effort there. So inside ball to Valentini. Valentini, the loose trio so far, the only people for Australia that are actually operating. Holloway, the man who got a yellow card earlier. Big defense in the All Blacks here. Australia should have had a try, but Corey Bates is an idiot. Harry Wilson, very productive so far in this game. And that's a penalty for Australia. They'll be able to kick into the corner. First defense. So now New Zealand need to watch the discipline. I can't believe that Corey Bailey tried. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe you are a wing. You literally spend your life next to a touchline. He literally, the ball, they ran the hands. He had to pick it up and dot down. I don't even think he had to take a step forward. Just pick it up and dot down. He's standing in touch when he receives the ball. Like, mate. Right, Pete Solomon once again will be entrusted with line-out duties. Now the question is, can he actually find a jump, or are they going to go short once again? They do go short once again. It's working quite well, you know. One stop is the core here. Vitalik's got his hands in there. Gordon does manage to get it out. Batai carrying it up. Now Valentini. Australia should already be a try up here, but this is good to try and wind down the yellow card. Holloway now. Batai has lost the ball. Backwards though, but I think if New Zealand have turned it over. But a penalty right in front of the poles. Can't take the three. Got to go for the line out. Once again, if you're looking to watch the game, check out the description. ExpressVPN can sort you out. You download that, and you then go and watch it on Channel 9. Free sign up. You just put an Australian postcode in. You connect to an Australian server on ExpressVPN, and you can watch the game live and in HD on Channel 9. So that is how you can watch the game. As I said, link in the description. If you're South African, go and start getting your bets on BetCoza. We'll be doing any score predictions that come in before half time. The winner of that will be able to win a free bet. Aaron Smith is being warned there. Now take a tap and go here to Australia. Harry Wilson now carrying it up. They turn down the 3 points at Australia. Wilson once again. It's been very industrious so far. Holloway. Good hands. The ball's going loose, and Koroibete now is going to have to try and find some go-forward ball right up against the touchline, and the ball's gone forward of Koroibete, who was single-handedly just destroying this any chance that Australia have. Now, I mean, Roddy Vitalik is stepping aside and stuff like that. But Lomax, long ball out wide. Roden Barrett now kicks deep, and Australia still scoreless. And they've been pinned right back to the 22. And Batai is under a lot of pressure here. Australia needs some support back here. The ball's getting loose. That's almost dangerous, Mr. Ref. A lot of pressure here from Australia, but it looks like they do manage to, but they're all the way back in their 22. Gordon's got not much. I mean, he's going to have to kick this. All the way back in the 22 here, Australia. And it's a free kick to Australia. Cody Taylor moving the mark, so pretty poor from them. 5 minutes to go. They've got to find a try. They've got to find a try before half time. They'd have a try. They'd have a try if Corabetti wasn't blooming useless. I cannot believe. I mean, that much. I mean, why? I mean, nobody's talking. We're not talking about it enough. The fact that he butchered that. The fact that that could have been the easiest try in the world to score, but he butchered it. Anyway, Bernard Foley's gone high off the free kick. Caleb Clark has taken it and being brought down by Tom Wright. Harry Wilson is there as well. And Wallabies were a bit shy to get involved there. And Aaron Smith's brought a penalty. Oh no, Cody Taylor's away. There's an overlap as well. Geordie Barrett's been brought down by the 10-meter line. All Blacks on the front foot here. Try before half time, and they'll already have a bonus point. Now Will Jordan. Will Jordan to Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith just short. Artie Severe up to Brody Retallick. At least the advantage should be over. Big tackle on Brody Retallick. Kirawani pick up and go now. It's fallen badly. It's got to be a penalty, Mr. Ref. Yeah, good. Well done by Rob Valentini. No, it's Pete Salmi. This guy has been absolutely immense in the first half. He's the only one that's pitched up. He's the only one that's pitched up yet and actually wants to play. Tom Wright and Corabetti, the two wings, I would trade them in at half time. I mean, this looked like awful money as a try when Craig Taylor makes this break. Weird decision for Geordie Barrett to come back inside on Jake Gordon. I would have just put my head down. It's just so frustrating because Australia are 1 try away from a bonus point, whereas they should have been 2 tries away. Because Australia should have had a try, you know. And Australia now score. If they score there, they score again. Bang. 2 tries apiece. All of a sudden, New Zealand will have to score 3 more tries in the second half to get that bonus point. So, throw a dog a bone here. Like, just keep the Rugby Championship interesting. Just prevent that bonus point. I mean, Australia haven't played badly, but they've just not been able to capitalize because of stupid decisions and a brain-dead moment from Corabetti. I mean, there's no excuse for that. Right, Parecki is back, so the yellow card is gone for Australia, but they've got to capitalise on this. And even then, New Zealand are a little bit under pressure from a discipline point of view. So if you just keep having a go, then try and get them into yellow card. Get them down to 14 men, have a go, give yourself a chance. But discipline, boys. The lads, bloody Australian lads. Moore's going right towards the touchline. Parecki back on and did feed it. Orders to use it. So Jake Gordon's going to... And it's going to be contestable, but it's a good take there from Caleb Clark. So New Zealand have got 1 possession back inside Australian half, might I add. It's a really good tackle there from Valentini. He's worked very hard. So the loose trio for Australia have worked pretty well today. Inside from Geordie Barrett, runs into Toa. Smith goes to Whitelock. Whitelock to Mwanga. Mwanga goes to... Oh, it's an intercept! It's an intercept. He's got the pace. Kellaway needs help. Kellaway puts it down. He's been taken off the ball. Bernard Barrett is slow to pick up. He's got Harry Wilson chasing. He now chips it towards the left. Sees a bit of space there. Looking back for 22. And Kellaway gets away from Bowden Barrett. And it's sliced off. Oh, that intercept had to mean something. It had to mean something. I mean, Richie Mwanga, deflection off, and then the ball up there, and it's really well read by Kellaway. Just put the hammer down, mate. Just put the hammer down. And Harry Wilson, that's pretty poor effort. You really need to put pressure on Bowden Barrett. Right, last bit of the first half. At this stage, I'll just take Australia going in at 17-0. I mean, I don't know how they don't have a try. It's which purchase stand sport in South Africa would I need to sign for PayPal or Paywall to FNB work? It depends on your card. Some of the South African ones have worked. Some of the South African cards have worked with Stan Sport, depending on what card you have. Well read by Andrew Kellaway, who marks that. So try that. Otherwise, I think you can pay with PayPal, which does work with South African cards. That's a bit of a workaround. But we had a card that did work for Stan Sport, a South African bank card. I think it was a Standard Bank card. There goes the hooter. There will be time, or Bowden Barrett's actually decide to keep it in touch. And we will have half time. Well, very frustrating because Australia should have had one try there, but at the moment, New Zealand one try away from a bonus point victory. If they were to get that try, then South Africa would need to win by 30, 40 points tonight. If, however, Australia can come back in the second half and score a try or two themselves and prevent the bonus point, then Springboks will be running out this afternoon, needing only a bonus point to win the Rugby Championship. It's a pretty big swing, isn't it? In terms of, one, you just need to score 3 more tries than the opponent. The other, you need to score, points on points on points on points on points on points on points. And it's just about Australia taking their chances, because they've had the opportunities. Korobeti literally should have had. I mean, they gifted them a try. I'm starting to wonder there's not a flipping vendetta out just to make sure that we can't win the Rugby Championship by Australia. Because I don't know how they've butchered so many opportunities and I mean, you go back to 2 key moments in that game. The Tom Wright quick tap and the Morokai Korobeti butchered try. And one of them led to a New Zealand try, and the other one was literally a try that he then butchered. So the swing there would have been a try apiece. And New Zealand would have scored 3 tries in the second half to go and get a bonus point. That is how close. That is how the margins of this game have been. Tom Wright doesn't take that quick tap. Korobeti dots down. New Zealand are 3 tries away from a bonus point victory. Yes, they might get 3 tries in the second half, but keep yourself in the damn game. Anyway, we'll see you guys in a bit. We're going to have a bit of a break. Again, if you're looking to watch the game, check the description. You've got half time to sort it out. Go and download ExpressVPN. Go to Channel 9. You can watch this game for free on Channel 9. Or else you can get yourself your Stan Sport free trial, which will obviously also get you watch the Springbok versus Argentina game later. Don't wait until later to sort yourself out. Sort yourself out right now. And I'll be back in a few minutes. Right, and we are back, people. And I think that, yeah, I mean, if you look at the first half, we just need to see discipline from Australia. We've got to see them score tries. I mean, as I said, from a South perspective, they need to try and prevent this bonus point. At the very least, they need to try and make it as close a game as possible. So even if you start taking a couple of 3-pointers and Australia, even if they score 3 more tries, they're going to only win by 5 points. That would help the South Africans a lot. So it still makes it very unlikely, but it makes it mathematically a little bit more achievable. But it's big. It's a big ask. It is a big ask. Because at the moment, Australia are just doing everything they can in their power to just not score tries. To be honest, that's I mean, literally, like they've had so many opportunities. I mean, they literally had Korobeti, who caught the ball with nobody in front of him, out on the touchline, and you just sit there thinking, you start to wonder if there's not a conspiracy at the moment. So if Australia first half, but I think the biggest thing about Australia is the fact that they're very much in the game despite being 17 points behind. You know, as I said, they've really thrown away opportunities. Angus Bell's on the park, by the way, for James Slipper. 21 years old, very highly rated loose head. Toa is the captain for the second half. No yellow cards at this stage, but I think New Zealand actually have to be careful. They might potentially be losing someone into the bin if things don't go according to plan. Right, New Zealand playing right to left, Australia left to right. New Zealand with the kickoff, first touch of the ball for Korobeti, who probably butchered the easiest try he'll ever score in his life in the first half. But so hopefully he'll come back and do us a favour in the second half. I don't hold much hope though. Anyway, Jake Gordon. Right up against touchline. Early touch for Burton Barrett, who's brought down very well by Kellaway, who's pretty good today, actually. Now, Geordie Barrett, a bit of pressure, decided to go to the boots. He's a bit of space down the right-hand side. Almost 50-22. I think it was in front of the flag. Corey Beatty, that would have been another big mistake to add to his repertoire if it had gone off. But Jed Holloway now has gone down in the heap. Right, let's get going here, people. We need Australia to score an early try. Reminder: if you're trying to find a way to watch the game, check the description. Download ExpressVPN, get yourself onto Channel 9, free sign up, watch the game. It's not difficult either, you know. Or do the Stan Sport version, go into Stan Sport, sign up for a free trial, watch this game, and you'll be able to watch the game later. It's a good line out for Australia, except it's skew. Bit frustrating if that was scored skew, because Brady Metallic in the first half basically caught the ball above the Australian lineouts, but that was fine. So weird that that's been the first one that we have seen called. Look, there was a contest from New Zealand, which usually does obviously make it a lot more, first of all, obvious, second of all, relevant in terms of taking the contest out. But an early mistake from Australia, and all of a sudden New Zealand got a scrum in the 22, they score one try, and they will have their bonus point at this stage. So not looking good from a South African perspective. We need Australia to wake up and start playing some rugby. Scrums have been all right, actually. Having said that, it's a good first shove from New Zealand, but the ball goes down. Is available. Geordie Barrett goes pretty hard. Breaking the first tackle. Good solid momentum now. Working their way down the blind side. Well worked to Will Jordan. Corey Beatty manages to hold on. Up to the 5 meter now on New Zealand. Brody Metallic this time. Craig Taylor pick up and go. Ominous signs there for Australia. Harry Wilson making a tackle now. Going very direct here on New Zealand. Curry Taylor's got Ollie Severe behind him. He's going to pop it up. No, he's going to go himself. Thought about popping up. Makes a few meters. They're just short. They're just short. Pick up and go. And I think it's going to be held up. The whistle's gone. The referee is right there. Hasn't said anything yet, though. We are going to have a check. I think this should be held up. Hey, we've got electricity. Things you love to see. Yeah, he's lost it forward, yeah. I think this will be a scrum for Australia. I mean, look, yeah. I think they're saying that's lost momentum. I don't think it's a try. I don't think you can be awarding this. We're still checking the grounding here. This is very weird. Trying to still see whose hand is who here. So as they go over, Whitelock's got the ball. He's lost control of it there. Now, see, and once again, on-field decision is trumping everything at the moment because they're going to award this. And there's the bonus point. Australia, you are so flippin' useless. Honestly. This is why you were at prison. This is why they send all the criminals to you. Because we can't rely on anything from you. We should honestly just remove you from the Rugby Championship, to be honest. Try is going to be given. I mean, this is pathetic, really. The entire Rugby Championship has been closed, and Australia have decided to fall over and play dead because, again, Tom Wright and Morokai Korobeti, those two just costed what could have been a phenomenal close to the Rugby Championship. Ah, dear, that's the bonus point for New Zealand. 24-0 Australia. Cheers. Cheers. You know, we didn't even ask you to win the game. We just asked you to not be absolutely hammered. We just asked you to not be completely shit. And they can't even do that for us. No, don't worry. We can pull out the performance of a lifetime against the Box. And then lay down dead in front of the bloody New Zealanders. But I'm sure we'll bitch about the referee last week because that was the issue. You know, the issue was Foley's 3 kick, not the fact that you could see 24 unanswered points. Honestly, I would give their tier 1 status to Georgia. Pattaya now trying to get on the act. Just one try, people. We need one try from you. Mr. Ref, that's a penalty. Well, Bernard Foley getting the kick away and giving away possession to Cody Taylor. Because why would you want possession? And Caleb Clark's about to break through. He's still going. He's been brought down by the 10 meter. Australia might as well just play dead at this rate. Now Mwanga stepping around half the Australian side. Still going. Gets the ball floated away as well. Will Jordan's going to put his head down. He's going to make a few meters. Now De Groot is being held up by Banatini. Smith to Caleb Clark. Inside ball there to Rico Awani. I can't believe they got a Rugby World Cup there. I can't believe this sad excuse of a rugby nation is going to host a World Cup. Oh, there's an overlap. There are so many people out there. Get across there. Betty, stop taking cheap shots and actually score a try, you useless mug. Flat there. Penalty advantage right in front of the poles as well. With the bonus point, then I'll just get to chip over the top there from Aaron Smith. Dear, this is just gonna this could actually get ugly, to be honest. It's now getting to the stage where it could just get ugly. Yep, and all of a sudden shot call. Now it's just a points game. Now it's just get all the points you can. Look, Australia come back and score one try. All of a sudden, things are back on track. But, yeah, it's not looking good, is it? I mean, looking back at that TMO, it's not even Sam Whitelocke's hand, which I think dots down. It's just... we basically got an own try earlier. It's just ludicrous. It is absolutely ludicrous. Right, Frost is on. White is on. But Australia need a proper comeback here. Need to try and get themselves 2 tries. But, I mean, at the moment, New Zealand are just looking uncontested at the moment. It's been pretty poor showing from them. And it's a knock on there for New Zealand. Geordie Barrett, they're trying to make the offload and coming off an Australian hand. So at the moment, I think we have to win. So Springboks would win the Rugby Championship. What's it, 14 plus 27? Yeah, about 43 points around there. Margin tonight. I mean, goodness me. Now, there was a bit of spitters of rain when I left Durban last night, so hopefully this morning the weather was supposed to be better. Hopefully it is a bit better. Even so, I'm surprised Australia even qualified for quarterfinals of the Rugby World Cup 2019. Stepar says not looking good for Aussie, and they used to be the best of the best. Can SA win the championship if it stays this way? Mathematically, yes, but we would have to win by, as I said, 40, 45 points basically at this rate to close down the points difference. However, it is as simple as Australia score. I mean, for example, if this stayed up until the end and Australia scored a try, then all of a sudden the Springboks just have to score a bonus point. So, as I said, we're not asking for Australia to win. We're just asking them not to beat them by more than 3 tries. We're just asking them not to be completely shit. That's what Springbok fans are asking. Right, scrum here for New Zealand. They do usually go short to Geordie Barrett. Geordie Barrett runs over Bernard Foley, eventually brought down. Caleb Clark, it's a big tackle for Jordan Pettier, and Marika Korobedi trying to win things on the ground. They need a shift because there's an overlap. There's an overlap, and Will Jordan's on the overlap. The last person you want to see in this sort of position. Cutting inside, here's Will Jordan. His feet get taken out. Pass back. And Australia have managed to find things back. Nick White with ball in hand. There's a long pass out wide to Foley. He passes back inside, and the ball comes loose. Nico Ioane taps it back. And Nick White has dived on it, so it is Australia's ball. But New Zealand penalty. Although I'm not convinced they released him, to be honest. Big says, in the Southern Hemisphere, there are 2 teams we're talking about, All Blacks and Box. For you to think Oz can deny a bonus point is funny. Well, it's pretty funny that you didn't score a try and you had it awarded. So they were about to. And also, if Korobedi could put the ball down, they would have awarded a try. Not to mention the fact that you lost to Argentina. I mean, that's why Australia. I mean, but yeah, no, I'm not being sorry, by the way. I'm not having a go at you. It's just frustrating. I just wanted it to be like, I wanted it to, screw throw, another one. Yeah, unfortunately, Australia are useless. Absolutely useless. As you said, the only 2 teams we're talking about are the All Blacks and the Box. Actually, no, Argentina, I reckon, are worth talking about. They've actually played quite well. They've had a horrible set of fixtures. Actually, I haven't said they're not too bad. I think probably I'm trying to think of who had the hardest fixtures. I'd probably say, I mean, New Zealand were away for 2 and then home for 2 against New Zealand, 1 away with Australia, and those aren't bad fixtures. But they had to start 2 away. Yeah, it's difficult to say who actually had the hardest fixtures. I think South Africa had the hardest travelling in terms of South Africa to Australia to Argentina back to South Africa. You know, to just keep going. Penalty for the All Blacks. It's not going well for them at all. Kwasi, thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Saying Japan is way more hard than Australia. I mean, just we weren't asking much. Just 1 try. That's all I'm asking is 1 try. Like if they score 4 tries, then I'm asking for 2 tries. Just asking you to just stay within 3 tries. That's all I'm asking. I mean, another try scored here, and Australia will have to score 2 tries to try and deny them bonus points. And they're over. Australia, why don't you just walk off the field? Like, genuinely, just walk off the field. Why did you pitch up today? 32-0. I mean, it's pathetic. It is pathetic. You were an embarrassment to rugby. You're an embarrassment to rugby. Cody Taylor, 16th career try. Australia, terrible. Shambolic even. Sigh. What are we saying here, people? Wayne says New Zealand won 20 of the 25 Tri-Nation Championship. The only reason it's close this year is because of the new rules which favour 10-man rugby. Well, I mean, there's 50-22. There's been a lot of tries being scored, to be fair. Yes, we could do a 53-3, no worries. We're going to need more than that at this rate. Springboks will pay for price and nothing else. Big says, I know you're not being soft. I feel the pain you feel because as much as I love All Blacks, my second team is SA. Appreciate that. Love that. If we're being realistic, we're not winning the Rugby Championship. Anyone want to guess the final score? It's going to be lost to a few. Lots to a few. And the frustrating thing is that, look, I mean, and as a South African fan, I don't think we can be upset if we lose the Rugby Championship. Because, you know, you look back at the Australia loss and it's frustrating. And you look back at the New Zealand versus Ellis Park game, which I think is also frustrating. But to be beaten by New Zealand is not unheard of. I mean, it's not shameful, for example. So you know the Boks go out as Rich Mwanga misses that. The good news with that is I think we now only need to win by about 46 points. I think it is 47 points. I think is the order of the day at this stage. 47. So if we go out and beat Argentina 47, imagine we do it. By the way, imagine we do it. Australia, can you just score 2 tries? 2 tries, please. Give us a chance. They go short to Australia, and it's a bit messy, but Geordie Barrett eventually comes away with it. And they're trying to hold him up. He eventually gets down to ground, but I don't know where the ball is. In fact, Australia have the ball. Nick White's come away with it. Pops to Morokai Korobeti, who single-handedly has destroyed the Rugby Championship. Oh, Angus Bell with a bit of a strong carry. That's a bit more like it. Now Valentini's got absolutely no support whatsoever. Thankfully, Will Jordan is too scared to get involved in the ruck. And penalty advantage, I think. Come on! Go to the corner. Let's go! Let's go! As I say, I don't think the Boks can be... If the Boks go and win with a bonus point today, they can hold their heads up very high. You can sit there saying we couldn't have done much more. You know, it would have meant that they would have been the only team who didn't lose to Argentina, for example. So, you know, they would have lost 2 games and lost the Rugby Championship, which is quite unfortunate. And as you know, to lose a Rugby Championship on points difference, I don't think is particularly shameful. Especially when you think, I mean, everybody's having a laugh at Ethan de Groot. That's just a cheap shot. That's not that impressive. Oh, congratulations! You nailed somebody off the ball without the ball, and now you're sitting in the crowd. What a prick! Adrian said, "I've just arrived and guess I'm an Aussie channel." So you're not in an Aussie channel. You're very much a South African channel. So we are very much not happy with you guys. I love that. Just score a try here. Score a try here. Make the game interesting. Have a bit of a comeback. Right, good line up there. And they've shifted the point of contact to Pete Samu, who's been very absent in the second half. I think that's been the issue for Australia. They haven't managed to get Pete Samu back to the game as much as they did in the first half. Once is the call, and Retallick has come through that. And Nick Frost is desperately trying to get it down. That's going to be turned over the ball, by the way. Oh, my God. I mean, really. Could not organize a piss-up in a brewery, this Australian side today. Referee was about to pull something there and then decides to use it. So Geordie Barrett trying to run things out for number 22 here. And Mwanga, oh, it's been charged down. And good, go, inside ball. Oh, it's going to go over. Get it over, Mr. Oh, come on, boys, we're moving. We're moving. Come on, the Oz. Cam Smith's my favourite golfer, just in case anybody wants to know. I've always rated this guy, Falafa Inga. What a try, what a player, what a team. Dave Rennie, ultimate respect. The Wallaroos, the Wallabies, I'm in. I'm going to give myself a Wallaby shirt. We're back, boys. We're back. We still need another try, but we're back. Little try assist from Will Jordan as well. We're moving. We're moving. More to the point, that brings down the points difference. I always rated the Australians. I did. There's a big kick here, Fody. You get these 2 points. We don't need to get these 2 points. Every point Australia gets, the point that's left. You don't have to get, and it's through. Come on. Let's go. 20 minutes. 20 minutes. They score another try. And all of a sudden, game, championship, it's all back on, people. It's all back on. Poor Betty from the restart puts his head down. Been pretty terrible today as poor Betty. Could have scored a try, which would have meant that the bonus try wouldn't have currently stood. Now Australia trying to run from the N22. They've got oh my living! It's match fixing. It's got to be match fixing. It has to be match fixing. There's nothing else about it. Jordan Matai has got a one-man overlap, nothing ahead of him, and knocks the ball. It's match fixing. This Wallaby side is hopeless. Absolutely hopeless. I've always disliked them. I've never supported them. Could never support them. You just what is this? What is this? He's got the ball in his hands. Oh my living! You wouldn't see that in a flipping under 10s game. Dave Rennie is livid, and he should be, and he should be. I mean, it's just you just can't have nice things, can you? And a penalty for New Zealand. Useless bunch. They score here, by the way, we're in big trouble. Big trouble. Like big trouble. Like proper trouble. Come on, man. Do something here, you useless Aussies. Come on. This is pretty well defended here, it must be said. I think they're trying to hold this up there. I think they've got players on the ball here. Oh, they've turned it over. Come on. Just don't give the ball to Jordan Pettier because he's been paid. Not being serious, please don't go and tell him he's being paid. It just was one of the worst knock-ons I've ever seen. Come on. Oh, it's just one more try. Just one more try. Oh, pressure here. Oh, and he's just dropped it ahead. It's got to be match fixing. It's literally got to be match fixing. We've just seen two of the most worst knock-ons ever. They've just done it again. I actually can't understand the professional rugby players. I mean, once again, Nick White's popped this up. And Tom Wright's taken it, gone down, just lost it forward. I mean, it's actually beggars belief. Oh, my living. Absolutely dreadful. This is going to be a try, by the way. Samasoni tackle. Wow. Is going to go over here. Yeah. It's just, it's, if this was the box, that would be going in. I would be absolutely going in if I had to watch this from the box. I mean, those two knock-ons, you think of the two knock-ons, you think of the Tom Wright quick tap, you think of the Korobeti who just allowed try because he was standing in touch when the ball got to him. And you sit there thinking, did you guys have any intention of trying to win a game today? Like, ever? Did you ever at one point decide we actually wouldn't mind winning this game? Genuinely. Like, I've never seen a team make those sort of errors. So many of them across the game. I mean, as Dave Rennie, I don't even think I would talk to them. I would literally say, you know what, Oaks, just piss off. I'll see you at the end of your tour. I'm not actually surprised. Look, New Zealand have been very good tonight. They've taken their chances, it must be said. The rolling ball's been very good. Their scrum's actually been very impressive. Which Mwanga misses it, thankfully. 45 points is where it lands for the box. 45 points, lads. 45 points. So you can't take anything away from New Zealand, but you look at the Australian mistakes, and they are just terrible. Like really bad. As an under 14, coaches would be frustrated at those sort of mistakes. I mean, we've just seen two people in like back-to-back phases just knock the ball on. No pressure around them. They've even caught the ball already. Not even like banged down, caught the ball and just spilled it. This is the worst Australian performance I've seen in a long time. In a long, long time. The only time they scored, I mean, you've got a Kira Wani who's about to kick and chase and potentially reel in Morikawa Korobeti. Oh, my living. He's actually, I don't know if he's even dotted this down. Yeesh. Goal line dropout. I mean, Korobeti almost messed that up. As I said, I actually can't remember the last time the All Blacks, I mean, the Australians played this badly. It has been that bad. It has been shocking. You look at the Australian side, which pitched up in the second half last week. You look at the Australian side, which, you know, beat South Africa. Right, Royal Jordan's going to go off the park. Come on, man. We just need just one try just to bring the points difference down, please. Because 37-14, currently we're sitting at, what, 30 points. So we need about 45 points to the box. 45 points, 38 points. Just bring it down to 38 points. Surely you can do that for us. Like, 38 points is a huge ask. 45 is almost impossible. Basically, is impossible. 38 is still a massive ask. We won by 16 last week, but we are playing at home. I mean, yeesh. Josh says, never seen Oz play this bad. I'm here because my brokers won't buy Sky Sport. Well, you can watch this game for free, actually, on Channel 9 if you download ExpressVPN. And And if you get the free trial for Stan Sports, you can watch both. Yeah, you see, it's a 5-meter scrum because Mordecai Korobeti is incompetent and can't actually dot the ball down. And Foley then actually just carried it over. Yeah, he hasn't grounded it. Korobeti, hopeless. Absolutely hopeless. Korobeti was basically playing with the New Zealand shirt today. 10 handling errors from Australia, by the way. 10. Yeesh. Dante says, in a must-win game in a World Cup, I would still back the Box above any team. To all the people who say we play boring rugby, look an alternative, lol. Teresa says, love the commentary, but keep up the good work. Thank you very much. What's the points difference now? Well, it's 30 here, which means it's 45 for us, what we need. Why do they even waste their time to fly over and play, literally? And if they do hit 50, I mean, if they do score another try, convert a try, then suddenly the Box going to need 53 points today. Same when it comes to the Box. If you get beaten by a better team, that's one thing. But to make these sort of schoolboy errors, oh, Nick White's finally done something useful with his life and caught Vinny Christie on the ball, and they've won a penalty. Just one try. Just please bring that points difference down. Please bring that points difference down. Can Surf still win the Rugby Championship? Mathematically, yes. Technically, yes. If we were to score 45 odd points. 46, 40, if we were to win it by a margin of 46 points, by the way. Not even just about like going and scoring 45 points. If we were to keep Argentina scoreless and we were to score 46 points, we would win the Rugby Championship as it stands. Yeah. If Australia were to score, if we were to try, for example, that would then bring that down. They go to the back. Well worked line up there. Foley, show and go. And he's just lost the ball forward once again. Make the 11 handling errors. This is pathetic. It's honestly pathetic. Hey. Oh dear. Right, so in terms of the schedule for the day, we'll obviously be live for Springboks versus Argentina tonight. Key was at 5 o'clock. The stream will go live at 2. We'll also be live for Bulls versus Edinburgh. That starts at 2:30. That will then lead into the Bok game. And we'll also be live for the Lions versus Ospreys game tonight at 8:30, which is going to be quite cool, even though the Ospreys have named basically a Welsh test side. And yeah, so that is the schedule. So please do come and join us on the various streams. Please do smash like the video, by the way. Please do subscribe on the channel as well, by the way. We're teetering around the 20,000 subscribers mark, so it'd be pretty cool if we could get there within the next sort of week. Reece Hodge on the field. I think I missed him this week today. I think I would have had Kellaway on 14 and Reece Hodge at 15, the way that Tom Wright has been absolutely dreadful. He's found the touchline here, and I think that Mwanga might have actually conceded a... no, I thought Mwanga might have actually conceded the line out there. Reece Hodge goes inside to Bernard Foley. What's Bernard Foley going to do? He wants to run it. He gives it to Reece Hodge. Reece Hodge decides to run straight into Sebi Reece. The wife abuses on. Well, he's under a lot of pressure at the breakdown, but they have managed to keep possession. Angus Bell, he's actually been pretty good this half, has really tried hard. Fletcher Newell's trying to make a steal. I can see the penalty. Oh, he's not fun touch. Oh, my living. This is, as I said, as an international rugby team, they've won a penalties. You'll have another opportunity. Well done. Angus Bell still wants to make this a bit of a contest. But, I mean, how many more mistakes do you need to make? Really? Right, Bernard Ferdy, fine touch here. Well, that's a really good touch by for Bernard Ferdy. So they will have an opportunity here. Come on, just score a flip and try and score another one. I mean, imagine Australia. That should be a red card, by the way. That should be a red card. Severy should not be on the field. That's head-on-head contact. They haven't even looked at it. How is he on the field? It's a good lineup from Australia. They do. You go to Pete Samu. The referee is almost. He's actually created a bit of a gap from him. Question is, can the Wallabies produce the goods? Trying to spin in the tackle. No, Mr. Ref, they're slowing things down. Angus Bell. Ballatini. Pick up and go. He's very upright. The ball comes loose. Somebody needs to actually... And Ikatar, we haven't seen enough from him. That's been a big problem. And Sevi Reese is there, and he's turned the ball over. He shouldn't even be on the park referee. It's literally a head-on-head collision with Reese Hodge, but we're not going to check it. Because, dare I say it, why would we? Turnover ball. Australia. Caleb Clark has just sat down Tom Wright, who has been a shambolic all game. Fraser McWright now trying to win a penalty. But I mean, Sevi Reese. And now, there we go. Artie Severe, inside lane, Ikatal. Ooh, I'm not sure that looked a bit forward, by the way. Papali'i. New Zealand all the way inside, deep inside Australian territory. Takawau. Christie going to the right to Artie Severe. He's got Sevi Reese next to him. Geordie Barrett, strong carry there from Corabetti. Well, it's been pickpocketed by Nick White. Fraser McGrath's come away with it. Sevi Reese once again over the ball. This time they actually managed to clear him out. Gordon Matai makes the clearance, but I mean, I just can't actually understand. If you go look at that penalty against Sevi Reese, I mean, Sean Wright just doesn't even try to tackle him. Basically just goes down, presents his shoulder, and allows himself to be, just sit down. He's been actually, yeah, I mean, you know, you deserve that, actually. You deserve that. And Bernard Foley has left the park. Get on to Severies. Tuanga Farsi now. And advantage, penalty advantage for New Zealand. Advantage side tackle. I mean, it's just all calling a departure. So it's right in front. Do they kick the goals? Yeah, they're sure they will. And why wouldn't you? You add an extra 3 points, and all of a sudden, South Africa can score, I think it's like 55 points. Yeah, he's going to shot called. Dear. South Africa are likely going to lose the rugby championship just because both Argentina and Australia decide to roll over and just die in New Zealand. That's basically why. I mean, Argentina with one of the best performances of their history in New Zealand. Hoorah, hoorah! And then they got pumped by New Zealand 53-3. They got pumped by 50 points, and now New Zealand are about to pump Australia by 23 points. So Argentina, feel free to concede 50 against us, because that's what we need. Absolutely pathetic from this. So honestly, it's one of the worst performances I've ever seen from an Australian side. It's an embarrassment, actually. Imagine the Box go and win like 60-0. And a penalty from the restart. I mean, it would be great if Australia had spent more time, less time bitching about the referee decision against Bruno Foley and actually playing a bit of rugby here. Still alive? I'm alive, yeah, no. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, well, last 3 minutes. I mean, at the very least, just keep them here. So it's just 55 points. I mean, you're going to start giving us 60. Thankfully, they've made a flipping rare mistake. What are the chances of Australia going the length of the field, scoring a try? And, as I said, just bring it under 50 at this rate. I mean, really. Score a try, 14 points. That's what? There's far too much math going on. 26, 41 points-ish. Because obviously, any point scored by Australia, it's double points from a points difference point of view. So if Australia scores 7 points, it's effectively 14. So Australia score a try now, a converted try, and what is 55 points goes down to 41 points. It's a pretty big swing, isn't it? Right, last brother does. Reece Hodge almost through. Good from Australia, better from Australia. Just Tom Wright decides to cut inside. Well done on holding on to the ball, Tom Wright. Yay, well done. Now Reece Hodge, head down, gets the offload away as well. Can't afford any mistakes here, can the Wallabies, up towards the halfway line. Nick White looking for something. Long pass out to Tom Wright, steps inside. Brought down by Rico Wani just inside New Zealand territory. Got to try and score a try. Got to score a try. A try is everything for the Blocks right now. I mean, it still makes it mission impossible. But 41 points is a little bit more achievable than 55, isn't it? Could really use a penalty here. Paenga, good offload as well. And a penalty for Australia. On the 10 meter, Nick White don't even think about taking it quickly. And all the South Africans, for example, suddenly start panicking because there's 20 seconds left. A converted try brings it to 41 points, which again is a ridiculously big ask. But 41 points, it's a great kick from flipping Nick White, it must be said, by the way. 41 compared to 55, big difference. Even 45 compared to 55 is a big difference. So a converted try here makes mission impossible, mission very unlikely to get it, mission very improbable. As I said, 41 points is a massive ask. 30 points maybe, you could look at. 55 points is ridiculous. 41 points is also ridiculous, also pretty much next to no chance of getting it. But there is that small little chance. Fraser McWright is working hard. They do have possession here, do the Wallabies. Not rolling away there, ref. Angus Bell. They're right by the poles. They're 5 meters out here, the Wallabies. Come on, man. Do us all a favor. Mr. Ref, he's come and slowed that down. Angus Bell puts his head down. He's played really well this half. I think White almost fumbling it. Ball over the top. For a Basin that's come inside. Oh, he sat down Finley Christie, but Sevi Reese made the tackle. Still 5 minutes out here are the Wallabies. Come on, man, just to try. Mr. Rep, there's a lot of New Zealand bodies around there. Angus Bell once again. Fraser McWright. Come on. They're under the poles. Well, it's unlikely. It's still not going to happen. It's still not going to happen, unfortunately. But the points difference needed by South Africa will not be 55. Australia are over. It will be 41. 41 points, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we need, if I'm calculating it correctly. I need to go look at the Rugby Championship log. But yeah, so hopefully, as I said, it's next to it's basically mission impossible. But there is, it's become a lot easier. Not easy. It's still basically possible, but it's a hell of a lot easier. They've just reduced the points you need by 14 points. So they've just taken off 2 converted tries that the Boks will have to score later. So Australia, thanks for absolutely nothing. Just by the way, I'm still not saying thank you, even with that try. Thanks for absolutely nothing. Final score, 40 points to 14. New Zealand have absolutely hammered a hapless Australia. And South Africa will have to score. So, I mean, what is it? Yeah, so 26 points, 41 points. South Africa will have to win by 41 points tonight if they are to win the Rugby Championship. They know what they need to do. They now need to go out and what is hopefully going to be a fantastic day in Durban and score 41 points, more than Argentina, to win the Rugby Championship. Again, frustrating because it's not really been in our control. But let's see. People, thank you very much for another fantastic watch along. I really enjoyed this one. We'll see you later. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you guys all very soon.